Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanOf from the comfort of your home.
Certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now, imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local VOTEC, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanOf from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
Stewart Nissan, where our people make the difference.
Wilshire Cabinet and Company sets the new standard in Oklahoma with custom pre-finished fine cabinetry, built in America to last a lifetime. Meet our expert team as we get to know you and your style of living in your home. Make the perfect choices to fit your design and budget with an unrivaled level of service. Complete your project with stunning selections from our hardware, Cambria countertop, and accessory collections. Experience our gallery, where inspiration is always fun, fresh, and lively.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full-service auction company well-versed in selling farm and ranch land, minerals, commercial and residential properties, as well as equipment, estate, and trust liquidations. In order to better serve our clients, Wiggins Realty offers conventional for-sale listings as well as buyer representation. Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local Votech, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanAvina.com from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
Stewart Nissan, where our people make the difference.
Wilshire Cabinet & Company sets the new standard in Oklahoma with custom pre-finished fine cabinetry, built in America to last a lifetime. Meet our expert team as we get to know you and your style of living in your home. Make the perfect choices to fit your design and budget with an unrivaled level of service. Complete your project with stunning selections from our hardware, Cambria countertop, and accessory collections. Experience our gallery, where inspiration is always fun, fresh, and lively.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full-service auction company well-versed in selling farm and rangeland, minerals, commercial and residential properties, as well as equipment, estate, and trust liquidations. In order to better serve our clients, Wiggins Realty offers conventional for-sale listings as well as buyer representation. Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local Votech, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, this time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop Stewart Nissan of Enid.com from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
Stewart Nissan, where our people make the difference.
Wilshire Cabinet & Company sets the new standard in Oklahoma with custom pre-finished fine cabinetry, built in America to last a lifetime. Meet our expert team as we get to know you and your style of living in your home. Make the perfect choices to fit your design and budget with an unrivaled level of service. Complete your project with stunning selections from our hardware, Cambria countertop, and accessory collections. Experience our gallery, where inspiration is always fun, fresh, and lively.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full-service auction company well-versed in selling farm and rangeland, minerals, commercial and residential properties, as well as equipment, estate, and trust liquidations. In order to better serve our clients, Wiggins Realty offers conventional for-sale listings as well as buyer representation. Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local VOTEC, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
We're live? Okay. Welcome to Timberlake High School. This is the Cherokee Strip Tournament final between the Timberlake Tigers and the Kremlin Hillsdale Broncs. Looks like Coach Voth for Kremlin Hillsdale, notorious for losing coin tosses, has lost the coin toss, and Timberlake will be the home team on their home diamond here in Helena, Oklahoma. On the mound for Timberlake, this is Jacob Diller. He's the pitcher. Catching is Merrick Judd. He'll be the leadoff man for the Tigers. Ethan Ginlink is at second. He's batting 3. Diller is 2, so it goes Judd, Diller, Ginlink. Then Cameron Brewer, man's second base, is the cleanup hitter. Kate Severin on third. Number 99 is the 5-hole hitter. 6 is Chase Pierce, the first baseman. Number 23, the freshman. Then Jaden Atkinson is in left field, hitting 7. Carter Sands is the 8-hole hitter in center. Grayson Yeager is the right fielder, hitting out of the 9-hole. This is Everett Bonine up now for Kremlin Hillsdale. He's the leadoff man for the Broncs. So we get this championship game underway. First pitch is too low, ball 1. 1-0 count here as we just get underway. Second pitch is grounded down the left, the third base line, and it was well foul, and it rolled back into play. Bonine did a great job of hustling down, did not watch the baseball, instead hustled down on contact. He was rewarded with a very nice roll back into fair play. by this Timberlake field. So Everett Bonine gets an infield single to start this one. Just like that, the no-hitter is gone for Jacob Diller. Diller, the righty, facing Alquitas, batting left. That pitch is outside. Judd couldn't handle it. It falls to the ground. Within reaching distance, so Bonine stays put at first. 1-0 count. Bronx have nobody on. Still scoreless here in the top of the first. Alquitas hits it down the left field, or excuse me, the third base line. And that's a put out there. Third baseman, Cade Severin, throws it to Pierce to record the put out. Bonine advances to second. Gonna have to excuse me, I keep saying left field line when it's third base line. This is Trace Henry. He's the 3-hole hitter now for the Bronx. It's Alquitas. Is out on a 5-3 put out. He was swinging on the second pitch of the at-bat, so here we are. Fifth pitch of the game, Trace Henry up to bat here. He lines one into the gap in left field. That is well past the center fielder. It rolls to the wall. Bonine comes around third. He will score. Trace Henry slides into second, and Kremlin Hillsdale's on top early in this one. Trace Henry with an RBI double. And that was a shot. Trace Henry, the Bronx pitcher in this one, gives himself a little bit of run support. He lined that one hard into the left field gap. Rolled all the way to the wall, scoring Everett Bonine. Now up is Zach Snodgrass, the cleanup hitter. He takes a ball 1 too high. Trace Henry on second. He's held there by the shortstop. That's Ethan Genlink. Second pitch of the at-bat is inside. Ball 2. 2-0 count here to Zach Snodgrass. And last night's win over the 1 seed and third place Ringwood Red Devils, Snodgrass reached on an error. That ball goes to the backstop, and Trace Henry got a very poor jump. However, it's a bad throw there from Merrick Judd to the third baseman. Goes over his head. He did have backup there, and Trace Henry is in with a stolen base. Not much on his own volition there, just a very poor throw by the catcher. And Henry certainly would have been beat had he... What's the call here? Courtesy runner. I think we got a courtesy runner for the pitcher here. Not sure why Coach Voth elected to do that after the steal, but nonetheless. Henry goes to the bench. Can't tell who is running now for Henry. Snodgrass, 3-0 count. Swings away. 3-1 count here. Zach Snodgrass was given the go-ahead to swing away. Swung right past it, 3-1. Fifth pitch of the at-bat is a strike. Another swinging strike for Zach Snodgrass. Might not be seeing the ball that well. Darkness is falling here in Helena. Payoff pitch. Nobody out here in the first inning. That ball is hit into left field. It drops. Kremlin Hillsdale will score another run. The left fielder and shortstop could not come to a decision. That was Atkinson and Genlink. Both of them looked at the other, thinking that the other player was going to come down with the put out. Nobody does. Zach Snodgrass is aboard with a single. This is John Hinkie Rose, the catcher for Kremlin Hillsdale. A pickoff move. Diller threw that one right past the first baseman, Pierce. Snodgrass advances to second. Kremlin Hillsdale on top early here, 2-0. 1 out. 0-0 count here to the catcher, John Hinkie Rose. Jacob Diller toes the rubber. He's operating out of the stretch now. He has his eye on Snodgrass there on second base. Nobody's holding him there. Now the second baseman creeps over, and Hinkie Rose tried to get a bunt down. Instead pops it up behind home plate. Nothing doing there. Strike 1 to Hinkie Rose. On deck man is Caden Stewart. He comes to retrieve that foul ball. Always good sportsmanship by the man on deck to retrieve the foul ball. Make life a little easier for the umpire. Might give you some calls later on. 0-1's the count. Second pitch here. Diller right down the middle. That's a strike. We got a stolen bases. Zach Snodgrass took off. He steals third. That's a pair of stolen bases in the inning now for Kremlin Hillsdale. 0-2 count now to Hinky Rose. That one's well outside. It's a pass ball. Snodgrass thought about going. However, velocity from that baseball causes it to bounce off the backstop, making it easy for the catcher to recover. Snodgrass stays put. Pass ball does not come back to haunt the Tigers. 1-2's the count here to Hinky Rose. One man on, third, one out. Hinky Rose takes a ball high. He looked like he wanted to swing at that one. Those high fastballs always look enticing, and he takes ball two. 2-2 count here. Diller toes the rubber, looking at Snodgrass on third. Fires a pitch. Swinging strike there for Hinky Rose. He'll strike out. That'll be the second out of the inning now for the Bronx. Regardless what happens here, if you strand a runner on third, you got to be happy with your production here in the first inning. This is Caden Stewart now up to bat, the third baseman for the Bronx. In a very crouched stance, takes ball one, outside. And Caden Stewart is coiled up in that batting stance. He looks like he is ready to unleash a hit ball. And this is hit to left field. The outfielder can't get to it. Zach Snodgrass will score. That's a double for Caden Stewart. That's a two-bagger. That's Jaden Atkinson out there. Just cannot seem to get a read on the baseball. Most teams in this area do not play night games, and sometimes it can be hard to track the baseball. It certainly looks like what's happening in left field to Jaden Atkinson. He has had a very difficult time tracking that baseball. It's a pair of balls that Timberlake's coach will think that he should have caught. 3-0 is now your score. Kremlin Hillsdale on top of Timberlake in this Cherokee Strip Championship. Top of the first still. 1-0 count here to Mark Welch, the first baseman for the Bronx. Pickoff move. Diller fires to second. Stewart back well in time. 1-0 count. Diller facing Welch. That pitch is fouled off behind the backstop here. 1-1 is the count now. Welch did not reach base last night. He hit one to second, was put out, struck out in his other two at-bats. Diller steps off. Caden Stewart clearly making Jacob Diller feel his presence on second base. Diller toes the rubber, and Mark Welch just a little bit out in front of that one. Fouls it off behind home plate. It's now 1-2. Pair of foul balls for Welch here. Kremlin Hillsdale is seeing the baseball quite well. It's one perk of playing at night. The ball coming out of the pitcher's hands, you can usually see it better. He checked his swing, and the umpire says he went. It's a strikeout there for Mark Welch, swinging strikeout. That'll end the inning. But the damage has been done for the Bronx. 3-0 is your score. Kremlin Hillsdale scores 3. After Bonine got on base with a single, Alquitas advanced into second. A double from Trace Henry brought Bonine home. Then a single from Zach Snodgrass brought home Trace Henry after he stole second. Snodgrass then stole third. And Caden Stewart knocked him in. 3-0 is now your score. We'll be right back with the bottom of the first. On the mound now for Kremlin Hillsdale, it's Trace Henry. We'll be back with our first inning of action right after this.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanOfEnid.com from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
The first leadoff man, Merrick Judd, lines it right back up the middle. First pitch swinging there for Merrick Judd. He's on with a single. So that one went right past the feet of Trace Henry, past the shortstop and the second baseman. Merrick Judd is on first with a hit. Nobody out here. Both teams getting some production. As I mentioned earlier, it is a lot easier to see the baseball at night. Lights shine down on the baseball, making it a little bit easier to see. This is lined into left center. Gets down for another hit. Steal call was on. Merrick Judd went. Maybe a hit and run, maybe a stolen base that Diller just liked the pitch. Regardless, that's 2 hits on 2 pitches. Goodness gracious. Timberlake bats are alive and well. 3-0 is your score, but Timberlake might be saying not for long. Trace Henry, third pitch of the game here for Henry. Bottom of the first, nothing's to count. Up now is the 3-hole hitter Ethan Genlink, the shortstop. Henry fires low, that's a ball. So it was definitely a pair of strikes to Judd and Diller. That third pitch is a ball. 1-0 now to Genlink. Genlink, the Tiger shortstop. Try to knock these 2 runners in. That ball's high. And we got a runner. Just lackadaisical defense there from the Bronx as Hinky Rose was not aware that Judd was creeping toward third. So that's a stolen base for Merrick Judd. Diller stayed on first. Runners on the corners here, nobody out. 2-0 count. It's a dangerous hitter's count here. Ethan Genlink at the plate now for the Tigers. Likely a steal on here for Timberlake. Did not see a play called for Kremlin Hillsdale. Diller stays put. That's a strike right down the middle. Henry fires a fastball past Genlink. After those first 2 pitches were ugly misses, Genlink looked content to just watch Henry throw him a strike. Coach Vo telling Mark Welch to hold the runner on to first. Diller running. Hinky Rose fires back to the pitcher. Tried to catch Judd. Henry threw it over to third. Looked like he might have hit Caden Stewart in the chest. There was a collision there between Judd and Caden Stewart. Stewart, there was a thud of the baseball. It definitely hit somebody. I believe it hit Stewart right in the chest. 3-1 count now to Ethan Genlink. 2 runners in scoring position. Henry fires toward home. This is a ground ball right to the second baseman, Everett Bonine. Bonine fires to first to Welch for the putout. That's 1 out in this inning. Genlink does his job, scores the runner from third. That's Merrick Judd who came across to score for the Tigers. It's now 3-1. Kremlin Hillsdale still on top. This is Cameron Brewer. Up now for the Tigers. Second baseman. Runner on third, that's Jacob Diller. First pitch swinging is Brewer. Popped up behind the plate. Hinky Rose looking for it. Just misjudged it. I don't know if the wind is swirling here, but seems like nobody can get a good read on fly balls here. Hinky Rose was right underneath it. It just landed a few feet away from him. Tough break there for the Kremlin Hillsdale Broncs. That would have been a big second out. Instead, it's an 0-1 off a foul ball there from Cameron Brewer. Brewer, the cleanup hitter, trying to do his job, score the man from third base. 1 down here, 0-1 count. That ball's low. Count is now 1-1 to Cameron Brewer. Kremlin Hillsdale here after defeating Lamega and defeating the #1 seed Ringwood Red Devils last night in a thriller 3-2. After Bonine pitched for 6 innings, Bonine now playing second base, and Maddox Myers, the left fielder, came in for a save. Things got a little hairy. Ringwood had 2 men on in the bottom of the 7th, but the Broncs came out with a victory, 3-2. That ball was fouled back to the screen. 1-2 is your count. Trace Henry toes the rubber. 1-2 pitch. Henry comes set. Here it comes. That's a strike 3 swinging. Cameron Brewer swung right through it. Henry just reared up, powered the fastball by him. Trace Henry looked like he might have thought the inning was over. He started walking toward the Kremlin Hillsdale dugout. Not so. That's the second out of the inning. This is Cade Severin, wearing number 99, as made famous by New York Yankee Aaron Judge. Trace Henry trying to get out of this first inning with only 1 run allowed. That one's popped up in the middle of the infield. Bonine fires to first. In time to retire Severin. That one was popped right over the head of Trace Henry. Bonine was there to record the 3rd out. Fired over to Welch in time. Kremlin Hillsdale escapes the inning with Timberlake had 2 men in scoring position with nobody out, only cashed in 1. We'll see how that fares for the rest of this one. We'll be back with the top of the 2nd right after this.
Wilshire Cabinet & Company sets the new standard in Oklahoma with custom pre-finished fine cabinetry, built in America to last a lifetime. Meet our expert team as we get to know you and your style of living in your home. Make the perfect choices to fit your design and budget with an unrivaled level of service. Complete your project with stunning selections from our hardware, Cambria countertop, and accessory collections. Experience our gallery, where inspiration is always fun, fresh, and lively.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you 1 check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Okay, good to go. All right. First pitch of the second inning is fouled off. Cheyenne Moore. Cheyenne Moore hit a grand slam against Lamega. Might have been wind aided, but we won't mention that. That was yesterday at Kremlin Hillsdale. A doubleheader. The first game. The first round of the Cherokee Strip tournament. They defeated Lamega, I believe, by a score of 12-0. Then they defeated Ringwood 3-2 to clinch a berth into this title game. Diller winds up, fires, too high. 1-1's now the count to Cheyenne Moore. We've got a nail biter in the NCAA tournament here. 70-69 is your score. Ringwood. The Arkansas Razorbacks are on top of the Oral Roberts Eagles, 70-69. 31 seconds left in that one. Full wind up here for Diller. He rears up, fires, and that's strike 3 called. Cheyenne Moore out. Looking. It's the third strikeout now for Jacob Diller as he's really found his groove. Ever since striking out John Hinkie Rose, since then he's allowed a double and struck out the other two batters he's faced. Maddox Myers swings through that one. The 9-hole hitter for Kremlin Hillsdale finds himself behind in the count. 0-1. 70-70 in the NCAA tournament. 70-70 is your score. Might have said that a moment ago. Not sure what I was talking about. 1-1 is now your count, as that one's outside from Diller. Diller rears back, fires inside, too low. Ball 2. 2-1 now the count. To Maddox Myers. Too high. 3-1 now the count for Maddox Myers. Myers was the hero on the mound last night for the Bronx. That pitch is a called strike. 3-2 now, full count. Diller working out of the full windup, rears back, and that one's swung through. Strike 3 for Maddox Myers. That's a pair of strikeouts here for Jacob Diller. Diller making it look easy out here. Doing a great job for the Timberlake Tigers now after 3 runs were scored by the Bronx in that first inning. Diller works himself into a groove here. Bonine looked like he leaned out of the way of that one. Might have thought that curveball was going to come in and hit him, but instead it goes right into the strike zone according to the umpire. It's 0-1. Bonine swings it. Second pitch, fouls it off. It's strike 2. 0-2 count here to Everett Bonine. Diller looking to strike out the side here. 3-1 is now the count. Time is called. Judd is set up on the outside of the plate. We'll see if Diller hits his spot. No, he fires inside. Judd nearly let it go to the backstop. As I said, Judd was set up way to the outside, trying to get Diller to hit a spot outside, maybe getting Everett Bonine to swing. Regardless, it's a ball. That one is also outside as he hit that outside spot that time. 2-2 is the count. 2-2 count. 2 outs here, top of the second. And Bonine watches a curveball loop right in front of him. Strike 3 called. That is 3 strikeouts for Jacob Diller. He strikes out the side, 5 strikeouts total. The Bronx will take a 2-run lead into the bottom of the second. We'll be right back.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full-service auction company well-versed in selling farm and range land, minerals, commercial and residential properties, as well as equipment, estate, and trust liquidations. In order to better serve our clients, Wiggins Realty offers conventional for-sale listings as well as buyer representation. Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now, imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local VOTEC, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Back here, bottom of the second, from Helena, Oklahoma, Timberlake won the coin toss. So they are the home team in this one. This is Chase Pierce, freshman, first baseman for the Tigers, against Trace Henry on the mound for the Bronx. Chase Pierce, rail thin, not the typical body that you see on a first baseman. He plays the position nonetheless. First pitch is called strike. Pierce, watch that one fall right into the strike zone. Chase Henry out of the full windup. Kicks his leg high. Fires that one. Just caught the outside of the zone. That's 2 strikes looking for Chase Pierce. 0-2 is now the count. Pierce gets a good grip on the baseball. Sees a call from his catcher, nods. 0-2 count. That one's high. Good pitch on an 0-2 count. Don't usually want to throw a strike on an 0-2 pitch. Henry does not. It's high. 1-2 is now your count. Scores 3-1, bottom of the second here. Nobody out, nobody on. And that's a curveball called strike 3. Chase Pierce watched every single pitch of that at-bat. 3 of them were strikes. Strikeout for Chase Henry. That's number 2 on the night. This bottom half of the lineup for Timberlake might not have the teeth that the top half does. All the production that Timberlake's going to get outside of walks is going to have to come from the top half as Stewart fires that one over to Welch. It reaches the backstop. Hinkie Rose was there, however, it might have had a little bit of spin on it. Goes all the way to the backstop. That's an infield single for Jaden Atkinson. Welch couldn't quite dig it. Bounce past Welch. Atkinson advanced to second. That's an E5. Third baseman throwing error. So now 1 man on, 1 out. Bottom of the second. 2-run deficit for the Tigers now. Scores 3-1. That one is well over the head of Carter Sands, the center fielder. Timberlake in their black uniforms with a white stripe across the chest. Kremlin Hillsdale in their red and white uniforms, red numbers. Sort of a... And that Carter Sands, great job of hanging in there, just letting that one hit him right on the number. Good job there by Carter Sands. He takes the free pass on the hit by pitch. Timberlake threatening again. They've got 2 men on, 1 out. Speed at both places. Now the 9-hole hitter comes up. This is Grayson Yeager. The right fielder. He's a 9-hole hitter for the Tigers. Henry readies. Operating out of the stretch now. Kicks high. Swinging strike for Yeager. And that was not a very good pitch, nor was it a very good swing. Somehow, a strike is what it winds up as. 0-1 is the count. 1 out, 2 men on. 3-1 is the score in this bottom of the second inning. Kremlin Hillsdale on top. And Yeager drives this one to left field. That's shallow left. It gets down. Timberlake held their runners. They thought maybe Cheyenne Moore could get there, but he couldn't. It drops, and everybody's safe. 1 out now. Top of the lineup upcoming for the Tigers. As I mentioned, the top of this Timberlake lineup has teeth. Merrick Judd hit a single right back up the middle in the last at-bat. And Jacob Diller, the pitcher who's on deck, singled as well. This is Trace Henry operating from the stretch. Bases are loaded now for the Tigers. Fastball's too high. Ball 1. That was the 3rd hit of the evening for the Tigers. That single from Grayson Yeager to load the bases. Trace Henry on the 0-1 or the 1-0 count. Excuse me. That one's outside. Called strike. One and one, 1 out. Bottom of the second. 3-1's your score. Kremlin Hillsdale on top, but Timberlake is threatening. We've got a car alarm here. Trace Henry steps off the mound. We'll try to get that taken care of. It is a little bit chilly this evening, and some fans are sitting in their cars. Looks like the alarm system was triggered, and now it turns off. We'll resume play. If anyone was nodding off here at Helena, they're certainly up now. 1-1 pitch. Swung through. Strike 2. One, 2 now the count to Merrick Judd. Judd 1 for 1 today. Henry eyeing the runner on second base. No one's going to hold him there. Kick, steals, and that's strike 3 called. Merrick Judd strikes out. Big power fastball from Trace Henry. That's his 3rd strikeout of the day. 2 down now for the Bronx. They did get out of a jam in the 1st inning. Timberlake had a man on 3rd. They had 2 men in scoring position with nobody out. Kremlin Hillsdale only allowed 1 run to cross. Now the bases are loaded. If Kremlin Hillsdale can get out of this inning unscathed, you've got to be happy with that if you're manager, coach both. Manager Pete both for Kremlin Hillsdale. Henry kicks, deals, and I'm not sure where that one missed. Let's call it ball 1. This is Jacob Diller, the pitcher. If he comes through here, he could give himself quite a bit of run support. Henry on the rubber, comes set. Fires, That one's lined down the third base line. He tags the bag, and that'll end the inning. Kremlin Hillsdale somehow gets out of a bases-loaded, one-out jam. A strikeout of Merrick Judd and 5 unassisted as Diller lined that one right to the third baseman, Caden Stewart. He tagged the bag, and Kremlin Hillsdale got out of the inning with no damage done. No harm, no foul. 3-1 is your score as we go to the top of the third here in this Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament Championship game. Kremlin Hillsdale leads it by 2. We'll be right back.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Gladys O. Evans.
Gladys O. Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop Stewart Nissan of Enid.com from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
Stewart Nissan, where our people make the difference.
Back here, top of the third, Joseph Alquitas up to bat, the lefty, takes ball 1. One O's the count. Alquitas takes ball 2. Looked like he might have checked his swing there. Umpire says nothing doing, 2 O's the count. Alquitas, the lefty, has a 2-0 count. He watches ball 3 go high. Timberlake's manager starting to get a little bit anxious over there, started chirping at the umpire after that first pitch he thought should have been called a strike. Alquitas swings on a 3-0 count. Not sure how you swing there. It's a 3-0 count. He fouls it off nonetheless. 3-1, nobody out. Kremlin Hillsdale up by 2 runs in this third inning. That one right down the heart of the plate. Alquitas swings away, fouls it back once again. After a 3-0 count, Jacob Diller has battled back. Curious whether that fourth pitch would have been called a strike or not. Alquitas fouled it off, fouls off the fifth pitch, payoff pitch upcoming. That's inside, ball 4. Alquitas will take his base on the walk. That is the first walk of the evening for Jacob Diller. And that is so demoralizing as a pitcher. You battle all the way back from 3-0 just to give up a free pass. Now the pitcher, Trace Henry, the 3-hole hitter, trying to give himself some run support. Alquitas leads off. Thought about stealing an aggressive secondary lead there. Slides back into first base off a pump fake from Merrick Judd. Alquitas is a threat on the base paths. First ball was taken for a ball. Second pitch is outside as well. Diller having trouble finding the strike zone here in this third inning. He worked so well after giving up those 3 runs. Struck out 5. Coach Voth giving a sign here, probably a hit and run with the 2-0 count. Trace Henry squaring around a bunt. He pulls it back. It's a called strike that was outside. Alquitas looked ready to go. Henry pulls it back. It's a called strike. 2-1 is the count. Alquitas leads off first base. Kremlin Hillsdale, nobody out. Pickoff move there as Diller fires over to Pierce. Alquitas back well in time. Just a move there to let Alquitas know that Diller does see him. Diller shrugs off the call, then gives a nod. Takes a glance at Alquitas, fires the fourth pitch of the at-bat. That one's skied to right center. Center fielder comes back, makes the catch. Alquitas had taken a big lead, was on second base, gets back in time. It's the first out of the inning is recorded. That's F8. Those of you keeping score at home. A fly out to center field. That was hit well to right center. Good job there by Carter Sands to come down with it. Now the cleanup hitter, Zach Snodgrass, up to the plate. Takes ball one high. Alquitas is keeping both pitcher and catcher honest. He is making his presence felt over there. He wants them to think about him instead of just the pitcher. Instead of just the batter. Alquitas takes an aggressive secondary lead. Looked like a pitch out there as Diller fired well outside. Judd got out of his stance almost immediately. 2-0 count to Zach Snodgrass. That one's outside as well, 3-0. We have seen Zach Snodgrass swing away on 3-0 counts. He did so last night against Ringwood. Diller steps off. Alquitas dives back into first base. Just wants to keep Alquitas honest over there. Snodgrass takes a fastball down the middle. No reason to swing there on a 3-0 count. Make Diller throw you some strikes. Perhaps the longer he works on a cold evening, the more wild he could get. That fastball, the outside part of the plate, is fouled back by Snodgrass. The umpire has been calling that a strike. So good job fighting there by Zach Snodgrass. We got a full count with one out here in the top of the third. Alquitas leads off first. Diller fires over. Alquitas is safe. Pierce didn't even bother to tag. Alquitas is doing a very good job of leading off, dancing around, making the pitcher watch him, and then getting back in time. And Alquitas takes off. That is ball 4. That pitch was not even close. And I'm going to credit that to Alquitas. Alquitas is over there, making the pitcher throw over there. I believe he threw over at Alquitas 3 separate times. And right before a payoff pitch, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make that pitcher forget that he has to throw a strike there. John Hinkie Rose squares around a bunt, pulls it back. That's a pass ball. The catcher could not come up with it. Both runners advance. Bronx now have 2 in scoring position as Snodgrass goes to second, Alquitas to third. Looked like Coach Voth had a bunt on there, wanted to advance the runners. Hinkie Rose squared around, pulled it back, and the runners advanced anyway. How about that? 2-0 is now the count, to Hinkie Rose. Diller having trouble staying in front in the counts here. And it looks like the manager for Timberlake calling his infield in. He might give Merrick Judd the ball here. Is Judd undoing his knee plaids? No, he is not. It looks like we're going to keep it here with Diller. Just a mound visit here. 2 men on. Be careful of a hidden ball trick. Kremlin Hillsdale tried one last night. However, Everett Bonine had not towed the rubber when Harris Keithley on first base tagged the runner who had gotten off the bag, but it was just a few seconds early as Bonai needed to toe the rubber for the time in to be called. Kremlin Hillsdale has that trick up their sleeve. We'll see if Timberlake does as well. Just trying to calm Diller down here. He struck out 5 through 2 innings. That's impressive. I don't care who you are. However, in this 3rd inning, the wheels have started to fall off here. He's issued 2 walks and a deep fly ball to center field. Trace Henry squared up. Maybe didn't get all of it, but he certainly got the barrel of the bat to it. So it was hit to deep center field. No worries of a hidden ball trick, as Diller does have the baseball. You see it in his right hand there. Hinky Rose swinging away. Got to stay warm. Keep those muscles warm. Make sure that you're staying active. Don't want to get tight in this championship game. 2-0 is the count. Diller fires a strike on the inside of the plate. John Hinky Rose watches that one go by. 2-1, 2 men in scoring position here, top of the 3rd. 1 out for Kremlin Hillsdale. First baseman is in for Timberlake. That one's fouled back to the fence behind home plate here. Good job by Hinky Rose to make contact. The Bronx have gotten some quality at-bats here. Alquitas took Diller to 6 pitches. 4 pitches for Trace Henry. A 6-pitch at-bat for Zach Snodgrass, and now 5 pitches for John Hinky Rose. And that curveball finds the bottom of the zone. Hinky Rose watches strike 3. That is the 6th strikeout now for Diller. 2 down now for the Bronx. Upcoming now is the big 3rd baseman Caden Stewart. Stewart hit a double to left center in his first appearance. See what he can do here. And that was a no doubt double into the gap in left center. Caden Stewart takes strike 1. Right past him. He looked content to make Diller throw him a strike there. We'll see what happens here. Second pitch of the at-bat is swung on and missed. Breaking ball in the dirt. Dropped right out of the strike zone. Stewart is behind now. 0-2. You would not like to strand 2 if you're the Bronx, but Diller seems to have found his groove after that mound visit. That pitch is outside. Ball 1, 1-2 now the count. Caden Stewart looking for encouragement from his dugout. Bronx trying to heckle Diller on the mound. Encouraging Stewart at the same time, saying, get a rip. That ball's outside as well. Looked like Diller likes the way Caden Stewart swung at that curveball outside of the zone. He's thrown him 2 more. However, both of them have been for balls. So 2-2 is the count now. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. That one is well outside. Caden Stewart, another quality at-bat for the Bronx. Making Diller work for outs. It's a great thing to do, drive up that pitch count in a championship game. Diller, payoff pitch. That one swung on and missed. That's a strikeout. Number 7 for Jacob Diller. My goodness. Diller has got it going. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Bronx strand 2 on a pair of walks. We'll be back with the bottom of the 3rd inning right after this.
Our gallery, where inspiration is always.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full-service auction company well-versed in selling farm and rangeland, minerals, commercial and residential properties, as well as equipment, estate, and trust liquidations. In order to better serve our clients, Wiggins Realty offers conventional for-sale listings as well as buyer representation. Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now, imagine a community resource who believes our...
Back here, bottom of the third. This is Ethan Ginlink up, the shortstop for Timberlake. Trace Henry fires a fastball past him, 0-1. The count now for Trace Henry. Ginlink wearing the number 2. He is Timberlake's shortstop. He hit it to the third baseman. Fired over to the first baseman on the last one, a 5-3 putout. 0 for 1 today is Ginlink. That pitch is well outside for a ball. Third pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Full wind up here for Trace Henry. That one's well outside as well. That one bounced up to the plate. 2-1 to Ginlink. Kremlin Hillsdale still up by 2 after they got 3 runs in that first inning. Off 4 hits. Just timely hitting from the top of the order. Henry fires that fastball too high. 3-1 is now the count. Coach Voth mentioned that Caden Stewart has a chance to pitch tonight, and you've got to think Maddox Myers in the mind of manager Voth as well. Myers pitched well in that save last night. Brought the Bronx to this title game. That one's fouled off behind the plate. Full count upcoming now to Ginlink. Nobody down here, bottom of the third. 3-1 is your score. Kremlin Hillsdale on top in this Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament title game. Kremlin Hillsdale defeated La Mega and Ringwood to get here yesterday. Ginlink fouls the payoff pitch back to the fence and will reset and do it again. 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Timberlake giving Kremlin Hillsdale a little bit of their own medicine, making the pitcher work. This is Henry. Strikes out Ginlink. Threw a fastball right by him on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Ethan Ginlink strikes out swinging. It's the fourth strikeout of the day now for Trace Henry. Up now is the cleanup hitter, Cameron Brewer. It's a ball too low. 1-0 the count to Brewer, 1 out. In this bottom of the third, Timberlake has nobody on. They stranded the bases loaded in that second inning last time they were up. Brewer is 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging in that first inning. He's seen 2 balls well outside the zone here. 2-0's the count to Brewer. Brewer, the cleanup hitter. They don't put people in that cleanup spot for no reason. We'll see what Brewer can do here in a hitter's count, 2-0. Henry from the windup takes that big step outside with the left foot. Fires in, 3-0. That one was well high. Henry was able to fight back from a 2-0 deficit in the last batter. See what it can do here on a 3-0 deficit. Brewer standing tall, giving Henry plenty of strike zone to hit here. 3-0 swinging. Bonine fields it, fires to first, and he's out. Everett Bonine, another put out for the senior Everett Bonine. You got to question Cameron Brewer there, swinging 3-0. He thought it was his pitch to hit. He did, just lined it. It was a ground ball to the second baseman, past the glove of Henry, and Bonine was there reinforcing the pitcher, fired it to first in time for the second out of the inning. Now up is Cade Severin, one of the tallest Tigers in the lineup here. He plays third for the squad in black. Trace Henry with 2 outs, trying to get out of this inning. Up next for the Kremlin Hillsdale Bronx is Mark Welch, as Severin fouled that one off. Henry resets. Umpire calls time in. Chase Pierce chased down that foul ball behind home plate. And that was a little bit strange. The umpire reached up to adjust his mask in the middle of Henry's windup. Henry might have thought time was being called. Spooked him a little bit there because that one was almost directly to the fence. That was well outside of the zone. No problem laying off there for Cade Severin. 1-1 count now here. Henry from the windup. That one cuts inside. That was a little bit of sliding action there. That was nice. 1-2 the count. Trace Henry. He's only given up 1 run through 2 2/3. Severin swings through that one, strikes out on a 1-2 count. 3 up, 3 down for Timberlake. Kremlin Hillsdale's Mark Welch, the first baseman, will be up to bat in the top of the 4th inning when we come back.
Business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local Votech, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanAvena.com from the
Back here, top of the fourth. Kremlin Hillsdale's Mark Welch, the first baseman, is up to bat here. Jacob Diller still towing the rubber for Timberlake. Operating out of the full windup here. That one is a fastball right down the middle. It goes through the legs of Cameron Brewer. Mark Welch is aboard with an E4. When I say that one was right at Cameron Brewer, that was right at Cameron Brewer. He had his legs spread to field it, and it went right through it as if it was a croquet ball. Substitution here, pinch runner, number 5 for number 7. So Welch comes out, stealing second, and he's in time. That is an out. That was Harris Keithley who came in for Mark Welch. Promptly tries to steal second and is thrown out. That was a tough one for the Bronx there, as Harris Keithley, the lefty, they like his extra length. Being a left-handed player on first base, you get just an extra half step as a lefty because your right hand is to the field. This is Diller operating on a 1-0 count. That one's fouled off by Cheyenne Moore. Moore struck out in his first at-bat. Count is now 1-1. He's fouled one off. Excuse me, 2-1. It's the count to Cheyenne Moore. That was a strike thrown by Merrick Judd to gun down Harris Keithley. Stop Bronx momentum in this top of the fourth inning. 2-2 count now, 1 out. That one's hit to the shortstop. That's Genlink. Genlink fires across the diamond to Pierce in time. 6-3 put out of Cheyenne Moore. Couldn't quite beat it out. It's hit right to Genlink. Genlink kind of smirks, looks over at Brewer, says that's how it's done. Fielded the ground ball cleanly. Fired across to the first baseman, Pierce. Timberlake starting to find their groove here in the top of the fourth. Maddox Myers watches a fastball go by belt high. Strike one called. Oh, 1. That's another strike. Maddox Myers up here. Watch 2 strikes go by. 0-2, 2 down here, top of the fourth. Kremlin Hillsdale still up by 2 runs. That ball is outside. Look like the strikes he's been calling on the outside of the plate there, but ruled the ball on this time. This is Diller out of the full windup, 1-2 count. And that's going to hit Maddox Myers. You could tell that. As soon as he threw it, that was headed right for the shoulder of Maddox Myers. He takes it. Got to give a kid credit when he takes a hit by pitch. That's not always an easy thing to do. Instead of perhaps having 2 men on with 1 out, it's 1 man on with 2 outs. As Harris Keithley was caught stealing earlier in the inning. Coach Voth gives Everett Bonine a signal. We'll see if that might be a bunt. Both the first baseman and the third baseman at normal depth. Bonine with great speed. Myers' speed on first base as well. That pitch is well off the plate. Might have been a pitch out of sorts. Keeping Myers honest over there. He takes a step and a half off. Still taking steps off. 2 steps. Aggressive secondary lead. Bonine watches a curveball loop inside. 1-1. The count to Everett Bonine. One man on, 1-1 count. Top of the second here, 2 outs. That ball is too high. Judd pump faked over to tell Myers non-verbally to get back. He does. Judd fires back to Diller. 2-1 now, 2 outs. Kremlin Hillsdale up by 2 runs. Myers, aggressive lead here. He is stealing. Bonine fouls it off down the first base line, and it loops back in fair. Off the glove of the right fielder. That's Cade Severin. Can't come down with it. Myers rounds third, comes home to score. Everett Bonine looped one into right field. Shallow right. I thought it was foul. It blew back in fair. Off the glove of, that was Grayson Yeager. I believe I said Cade Severin. Severin's over on third base saying, I didn't do anything. I just watched that happen. My apologies to Cade Severin. That was Yeager who made the error. Bonine winds up on second base thanks to an E9. That's a big swing in momentum in this one. Kremlin Hillsdale just finds a way to score thanks to an error on the right fielder. Good contact there to protect the runner. Myers had taken off to steal. Bonine swung late. Put it in play. When you put it in play, good things can happen. As evidence there. 0-1 the count to Joseph Alquitas. He watched the strike one. He grounds it now back to the pitcher, Diller. Lobs it to the first baseman, Pierce, and that'll end the inning. Kremlin Hillsdale scores 1 run on an error. 2 errors and a hit by pitch. Score is now 4-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th right after this.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full
Back here, bottom of the 4th, this is Chase Pierce, the first baseman, up now for the Tigers. Chase Pierce, the son of the basketball coach, is 0 for 1 today. He struck out looking in the second inning. Henry will try to replicate that result. Here's the first pitch, and that one looked good. Usually when a player leans out of the box like that, the umpire will reward the pitcher with a strike, and that looked like it should have been called a strike anyway. Nonetheless, it's called ball 1. 1-0 count here to Pierce. Henry, I think he might have been frustrated with that last call, and he throws that one right into the dirt. Two-0 count now here to Chase Pierce. Henry from the windup. Fires a fastball right by Pierce. Swinging strike is missed, and Pierce just is not seeing the ball very well tonight. He's had some key stops over there at first base. Hasn't been able to replicate that production at the plate. Now 3-1 as that one is well high. Another hitter's count here for Chase Pierce. Nobody down here. Timberlake trails by 3 after Kremlin Hillsdale scored in the top half of this inning. Thanks to a big fly ball to right field that the right fielder, Grayson Yeager, could not haul in. Chase Pierce watches another ball, belt level, go right by. Full count upcoming here to Chase Pierce, the freshman. Nobody out here. Kremlin Hillsdale is up by 3 runs. Trying to stave off the Tigers. That curveball is high. Ball 4. Chase Pierce will take his base, and Coach Voth wants to call timeout. See if we'll have a new pitcher here. Tells his infielders to stay put. He just wants to talk to Henry only. Maybe he saw something that he didn't like in Henry's fundamentals here. We'll keep it here. 4-1 is your score. Kremlin Hillsdale is on top of the Timberlake Tigers. Timberlake scored their 1 run in the top of the first. Merrick Judd reached on a single, then advanced on a single from Jacob Diller. Excuse me. Merrick Judd singled, then stole second and stole third, then Diller drove him in. And Timberlake's manager says that's a balk, and umpire signals that as well. Chase Pierce will advance. As Trace Henry did not step off the rubber there. Still 0-0 the count here to Jaden Atkinson, the left fielder. Atkinson committed a couple key errors early in this game. It helped Kremlin Hillsdale take this lead. Atkinson lost control of the bat. Fouled that one off down the first base line. 0-1's the count now. Atkinson reached on an error on the third baseman earlier in this inning, in the second inning. So 1-1 now the count, as that one was well high. Atkinson did well to not pull the trigger there. Pierce still on second base, being held on by Bonine there, the second baseman, leaving a hole in that first to second base gap. Mark Welch has subbed out. Harris Keithley has come in at that first base spot. Atkinson cannot catch up to that one. Henry operating from the stretch, takes a look at Pierce on second base. Dangerous position here for the Bronx. They've got nobody out and a runner in scoring position. That curveball looked like it might have found its way into the strike zone. It's ruled a ball from the umpire. 2-2 now the count. Atkinson in left field. The left fielder. Trying to drive in Chase Pierce on second base. Henry fires, and that one's inside. Nearly hit Atkinson. Just missed him. Atkinson did not look very eager to take one right off the side of the knee there. That would have been a very tough spot to take a hit by pitch. Full count now. Payoff pitch upcoming. Henry comes set. Kicks his leg high, fires. Swung on, popped up behind second base. Cheyenne Moore running in, and that's off his glove. Pierce will advance. E8 there as Cheyenne Moore ran all the way up on it, just could not come down with the catch, could not glove it. Shallow center. Atkinson is aboard. Now there's trouble brewing here, bottom of the fourth. Coach Voth calling his defense as there's runners on the corners, always a position where the offense wants to send the runner on first to make sure that you don't catch the defense napping here. We'll see what the call is. Last time this happened, the catcher fired it right back to the pitcher quickly. Pitcher fired right over to the third base. Runner was able to get back in time. Runner goes. It's thrown right back to the pitcher once again. Same strategy. Pierce stays put at third base. He never got more than a step off. The secondary lead was pretty poor. Nothing doing there. That's a stolen base for Atkinson. 1-0's the count here. This is Carter Sands, number 7, the center fielder. Sands watches a strike loop in there. Like a fastball with some cutting action there. 1-1's the count to Sands. Sands was hit by a pitch earlier today, so he is 0 for 0, but he has reached base. That ball's taken. 3-1 is the call. 2-1 or 3-1? Scoreboard says 2-1. Thought I heard the umpire say 3-1. Henry fires that one in. 2-2. So it was 2-1. Sands watched that one go through the strike zone. It's now 2-2. 2 men in scoring position here for the Tigers. Dangerous waters to be swimming in if you're the Bronx. Sands swings through that one, strikes him out. It's another strikeout for Trace Henry. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts for Trace Henry. This is Grayson Yeager. Yeager's error in right field allowed the Bronx to score one in the top half of this inning. Could easily make up for it here, driving in 2 with a base hit. Henry out of the stretch. Kick, steals. Too low. Yeager nearly went. They say he did not. One-oh's the count. One down here. Might have heard from below that there are no more nachos to be had. Timberlake concession stands shutting down here now that we're nearly to 9:30 Central Time. This is Trace Henry from the stretch. That's a high fastball that Yeager swings at. He's going to be frustrated with himself, swinging at a ball clearly out of the strike zone. Scoreboard says 0-2. No signal from the umpire here. I've got 1-1 to Grayson Yeager. Henry comes set. Fires. That one's right at the third baseman. It's chopped over. Stewart fires over to Keithley for the out. 5-3 put out. A run does score for Timberlake. That's the second out of the inning. 5-3. The runner had to stay at second to avoid being thrown out. As Stewart glanced over at him, looked him back, fired across the diamond to Harris Keithley, who gloved it. Second out of the inning. Timberlake has put a run on the board here, 4-2. Now the top of the order up for Timberlake. This is Merrick Judd, who's 1 for 2 today. He had a single in the first inning as a pair of stolen bases, struck out looking in the second inning. Before that previous run, scored by Chase Pierce, Judd was the only man who had crossed the home plate for the Tigers. So here we are, bottom of the fourth. 4-2 is the score. Kremlin Hillsdale's on top. Henry, first pitch is a high fastball that Judd is way out in front of. Eric Judd could not believe his eyes. He thought that he was going to drive that one out of this place. He was so eager, he got way out in front of that one. And that one curves in. Looping curveball from Trace Henry finds the zone. Kremlin Hillsdale could limit an inning in which they had 2 men in scoring position with nobody out to just 1 run scored. Henry, 0-2. And that was a bad jump by Atkinson. Stewart couldn't glove it. Had he come down with it, he might have been able to tag Atkinson and get him out. It looked like Stewart might have had his hand stepped on, or he certainly made contact with the base runner, just could not hang on to the ball. So that was a wild pitch there from Trace Henry. 1-2 is the count. You don't usually want to throw a strike on an 0-2 count. That one was just a little bit wild. That inside fastball is not good enough for a strike in the umpire's eyes. That one was close. That one was close. Merrick Judd was crowding the plate. When you do that, those inside fastballs are usually closer to the plate than you realize. Not in the umpire's eyes. It remains 2-2. Judd stays alive. Timberlake now has a runner on third. 4-2 is the score. Kremlin Hillsdale's on top. Judd lines that one down the left field line. That made contact with the windshield. Looks to be intact. That's the good news. Everyone trying to figure out whose car that was and if the damage is severe. Doesn't look like it from over here, but then again, I'm about 70 yards away. 2-2 count remains. This will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat, as Judd fouled that last one off. Henry from the stretch took a little bit of extra time on that one. Too low, threw it into the dirt. Hinky Rose came down with it. Good job blocking it there by the senior catcher. You can hear the Kremlin Hillsdale supporters letting Trace Henry know that they're behind him. Trace Henry requested a new baseball and threw it to the backstop. Hinky Rose wasn't looking. Instead, the on-deck hitter has to come around, grab it, give it to the umpire. Merrick Judd can drive in this runner on third. It's a full count, 2 out. Payoff pitch is outside for a ball. Runners on the corners. No doubt Timberlake will be sending Judd to second here. He does have a pair of stolen bases in this one. Trace Henry has just walked a second batter of the inning. Coach Voth calls his defense. You're going to have a pretty good jump to sniff out a stolen base attempt by Merrick Judd. He is quick. Now up is Jacob Diller. He's 1 for 2 today as well. He had a RBI single in the first inning and hit one right at the third baseman with the bases loaded in the second to end the inning. Judd takes off. This one's hit down the third base line. Stewart bobbles it, and he just has to eat it. That's an error on the third baseman, Caden Stewart, that scores a run for Timberlake. First pitch swinging for Diller pays off. Caden Stewart might have been thinking about where he was going to go with it before he did. excuse me, might have been thinking about where he was going to go with it before he had fielded it. It eats him up. It's now a one-run game. 2 men on for Timberlake. Score is 4-3. Trace Henry trying to get out of this inning. 2 outs here. 2 men on. Bottom of the 4th. 2 runs have come across already in this inning. This is Ethan Genlink at the plate now. He's 0 for 2 today. Hit 1 to the third baseman and struck out in his other attempt. Henry steps off, wants to keep Judd honest. Judd is a speedster. So Pierce and Atkinson have come across for the Tigers. Judd takes off. That one's fouled back to the net as Genlink, maybe you've been trying to protect his runner there, got a piece of it, fouled it off. So for all this trouble, Trace Henry has only let up 3 hits today. It's the first 2 batters, then 1 more in the second. Since then, it's just been errors and walks putting the Tigers on base. 0-1 is the count, 2 outs. Timberlake has 2 men on. Judd with a huge lead on second. He takes off. That pitch is dropped. It's too low for a ball. Both runners advance. You can see that one coming from where I was sitting. Trace Henry elected not to step off as Judd was on the grass. That's how far he was off of second base over there. Steals that bag easily. That's 3 stolen bases in this one from Eric Judd. That curveball might have flown off the handle there for Trace Henry. Hinky Rose looks Judd back to the bag. Good job there by the catcher. Good awareness, making sure the runner on third doesn't get any ideas. 2-1. It's the count to Ethan Genlink. 2 down, 2 men in scoring position here for Timberlake. They've got their best chance to take the lead that they've had all day. Top of this lineup is dangerous for sure. Genlink 0 for 2 today, but he'd love nothing more than to put the Tigers on top here. He fouls that one off of his own leg. That'll draw the count even at 2-2. 2-2's the count. Again, Kremlin Hillsdale supporters trying to rally their pitcher to get out of this inning with the lead still intact. 2-2 count. 2 men on, 2 outs. Genlink swings away. It's a drop third strike. Hinky Rose throws it to the first baseman, Harris Keithley, who gloves it. And that's the end of the inning. Hinky Rose dropped that third strike. Judd had taken off for home. Hinky Rose fired over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. Had that not been in time, or it had been an error, Timberlake would have scored 1, maybe 2. Not so though, as that's a strikeout swinging for Ethan Genlink. That is the 7th strikeout of the day for Trace Henry. We will go to the top of the 5th. Kremlin Hillsdale still on top here, 4-3. We'll be right back.
Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local VOTEC, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown first responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Top of the fifth inning upcoming here. At the plate for Kremlin Hillsdale will be Trace Henry. Is that correct? I've got Joseph Alquitas up. Nonetheless, Trace Henry's up to bat. That one nearly hit Trace Henry. Pitcher in this one has gone through 4 strong innings. There's a ball inside, 1-0. Second pitch of the at-bat is fouled off on top of the roof of the Timberlake School building. Looks like we ran out of baseballs here. So to give you a short game summary, Kremlin Hillsdale led off this game with a single from Everett Bonine. Then a double from Trace Henry brought Bonine home. A single from Zach Snodgrass brought Trace Henry home. A double from Caden Stewart then brought Zach Snodgrass home. The Broncs were up 3-0 early as Trace Henry takes his base on a hit by pitch. Make sure I get my scorebook correct here. So Kremlin Hillsdale was up 3-0 after the end of the first inning. Then on Timberlake's side, they got a single from their leadoff man, Merrick Judd. He stole 2 bases. Jacob Diller then knocked him in. The pitcher for Timberlake, who has also fired 4 strong innings and is working on his 5th. He drove the runner in, provided himself a little bit of run support, but wasn't able to get knocked in once he found himself on third base. It was 3-1 after 1. Neither team could score in the second. Neither team scored in the third. Then in the 4th inning, we had a little bit more fireworks as a pair of errors plagued the Tigers. It was an error on the second baseman. Chase Pierce let it go in between his legs. Mark Welch reached base. Harris Keithley subbed in. Cheyenne Moore hit it to the shortstop for a putout. That advanced. Harris Keithley was caught stealing. Then Maddox Myers came up to the plate. Was hit by a pitch. Everett Bonine with a big hit to right field. Brought Maddox Myers all the way home. Maddox Myers was able to steal second. Then Bonine hit it to the right fielder. Myers was running on contact. Since there were 2 outs, was able to score from second. Alquitas then grounded out to end the inning. That ball is thrown well over the head of the shortstop. Trace Henry digging for third. He gets there, and another throwing error. And there's no one on third base, or else Goodness gracious, Trace Henry, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Nearly got caught. Not so, he's on third base. Safe for now. It looks like there was a courtesy runner in there. I believe that's Wheeler, Zachary Wheeler. So Wheeler with the wheels makes it all the way to third on a pair of throwing errors as he stole second. Throwing area advanced him to third. Judd just threw it over the head of Jinlink into center field. Bronx have a runner on third with only one out. At the plate now is Zach Snodgrass. Excuse me, is John Hankey Rose. Zach Snodgrass struck out on that last AB. Count is 1-1 to John Hankey Rose. First strike was a swinging strike and then a ball. That ball's outside. 2-1 count here to Hankey Rose. Rose 0 for 2 today. He struck out twice. And that one hits him right on the shoulder. Hankey Rose watched that one come in all the way. Stood his ground, took one right off the bicep. And it looks like Timberlake might make a pitching change here. We'll see what happens. Nonetheless, Timberlake's manager wants to calm down his squad as there's runners on the corners for the Bronx with one out here. Hankey Rose, not a threat to steal, but he's too important from the catcher spot to pinch run for. So Kremlin Hillsdale will be in danger of hitting into a double play should the ball go to Jinlink or Brewer. Up now for the Bronx is Caden Stewart, the big third baseman. He hit a double earlier in this one to left center field. Struck out in his second at-bat in the third, so he's 1 for 2 today. Big third baseman, one of the strongest players the Bronx have, just in terms of physical strength. Takes a big arm to fire it across the diamond from third to first. Stewart has that job locked down today. He'll try to put his squad on top here, extend their lead. Already up 1 run, 4-3. There's one out here. Kremlin Hillsdale has 2 men on, runners on the corners. We're back in play. Diller fires. That's a ball. And Judd just threw it to nobody. He thought that the runner was going. He didn't. He threw it all the way down to nobody. Nobody covered second, and that's an error on the catcher. It looked like Timberlake's manager had called a play in that mound visit. Since they had runners on the corners, the catcher was expecting a runner. They decided they were going to try and throw out Hankey Rose, but Hankey Rose didn't try to steal. So Judd threw it to nobody. It rolled all the way to center field, and that is a free run, as easy as they come for Kremlin Hillsdale. So a hit by pitch led to a run in the last inning for the Bronx, and a hit by pitch leads to another run in this one. That puts the Bronx up 5-3. Scoreboard, it's got an error on it here. Threw me off. So Hankey Rose advances to second. He is not a danger on the base paths. No doubt why Timberlake's manager elected to have the catcher throw it to second, but Hankey Rose did not attempt to steal. Nobody was covering. That was one of the strangest plays I've seen all season. Diller 1-0. Now 2-0. Is that one too high to Caden Stewart? Stewart could drive in another for the Bronx here. Looks like Coach Voth calling a sign here. It's 2-0. Great hitters count. Good shot for Caden Stewart to put the Bronx on the board once more. Here's the pitch from Diller, operating from the stretch. He kicks high. That ball's outside. And he throws his throws his bat, and it's a 3-0 count. So Caden Stewart drops his shoulders. He thought for sure that was ball 4. He looked at his dugout. His dugout didn't really say no, that's ball 3. So Caden Stewart just took off. 3-0 count. That can always shake you up as a batter. And that's kind of what I thought too. It's a question of whether there was a pitch before the mound visit. And the umpire says no. He has 3 balls, no strikes. I thought that maybe a pitch had been thrown before that mound visit, before Judd threw it into center. Coach Voth goes to talk to the umpire. He and the umpire banter back and forth. Coach Voth takes a spot now on the third base line. Count still remains 3-0. Stewart at the plate, trying to draw a walk here. Diller has other ideas. 3-0's the count. Just takes strike 1. 3-1 the count now. As I mentioned, that can be jarring to think that you have a walk and that you're already on base, only to be called back because you counted wrong. See what happens here to Caden Stewart. 3-1 count, great hitters count for the Bronx. He had to duck out of the way of that one. No reason to take a shot to the head when you're on a 3-0 count, 3-1 count, excuse me. When there's 3 balls, no reason to take one to the dome. That's another walk as Diller starting to get a little bit wild here, unraveling in the 5th inning. You can see the scoreboard shut off earlier, so having to reload the data there. Harris Keithley squares around a bunt. He is batting in place of Mark Welch. They say he goes around. It's a strike. 1-1 is now the count to Harris Keithley. Makes contact on the bunt attempt, but pops it up behind the catcher. It looked like he was trying to put it down that first base line. Third baseman, Cade Severin, not in any hurry to come over. Trust the athleticism of Merrick Judd and Chase Pierce to make that play on the ball. Hinkie Rose on second, Caden Stewart on first. You can see how big the lead for Caden Stewart is. He has a good 5 steps off of first base. I mean, he is way off that bag. Way off that bag. It's unbelievable how far off the bag Caden Stewart is. This is Diller. And that ball goes through the legs of Chase Pierce. And Chase Pierce not only let it go through his legs, he then hung his head. Brewer had already backed him up. He came up with the ground ball, but Pierce didn't cover the bag. In a double error, if you can believe it, on Chase Pierce. That only counts for 1 in the scorebook, but trust me, for Timberlake's manager, that was a double cardinal sin. Oh my goodness, that is brutal for the Tigers there. So, bases loaded here for the Bronx. 1 down. As that's ball 1, not even close. Diller will be taken off the mound now. And that is brutal if you're Jacob Diller. You watch an easy ground ball, no problem to field, get bobbled. Your first baseman has it go through his legs. The second baseman has him backed up. The first baseman doesn't cover, and all of a sudden an out turns into a bases loaded swing. That is brutal for Jacob Diller. He sees his night done. We'll see who takes the mound now. Looks like it's going to be the catcher, Merrick Judd. I think they're going to trade places here. Jacob Diller might swap spots with Merrick Judd. Judd had been the catcher for the first 4 1/3. Now he'll take the spot on the mound, and Diller been on the mound through 4 1/3. We'll put on the catcher's gear and squat behind the plate. Bronx have the bases loaded. They've already scored once in this inning as Trace Henry was hit by a pitch. Then some errors. The courtesy runner was able to score. Now on base for the Bronx is John Hinkie Rose, the catcher. What he lacks in speed, he makes up for in heart. I can tell you that. He has had a tough couple days. He's 0 for 2 tonight before being hit by a pitch. And last night, he struck out 3 times as well. Merrick Judd. A lot more velocity for Judd here. You can hear the pop of the glove. As he warms up, my goodness. He is bringing the heat. One thing about pitchers who pitch that hard, if somebody makes contact on it, it's going to go a long way. That's just the way physics work. Usually the harder the pitcher throws, the harder the contact off the bat. Sure enough, Diller dons the catcher's gear. Merrick Judd toes the rubber now. Five to 3 is your score. Kremlin Hillsdale threatening to score a few more. Cheyenne Moore is up to the plate now. He did hit a grand slam yesterday against Lomega. He's already performed in this Cherokee Strip Conference tournament with the bases loaded. Yesterday, in the game against Ringwood, he was 0 for 3. He struck out, hit to the shortstop for a putout today as well, so he's 0 for 5 in his last 5 at-bats. But in that Lomega game, he did hit a grand slam. That is worth mentioning. It's about as good as you can possibly do at the plate is a grand slam. Cheyenne Moore, the good sport, grabs the baseball that was thrown wild a moment ago, trying to give it to the umpire. Umpire's not looking for it, so he'll hold on to it. Judd getting his licks in from both the stretch and the windup. We'll see where he goes, whether he wants to throw from the stretch or the windup with the bases loaded. You can have the option to do both, because Hinkie Rose will not be a threat to steal home. The windup just takes longer. That's why you don't see it whenever runners are on base. So, for example, if you have a runner on first, you would not throw out of the windup because it takes a full second or 2 to get through that motion, in addition to your normal throwing motion you would see out of the stretch. Plenty of time for a base runner to steal a bag when every second counts. Judd elects to go out of the stretch here. This is Cheyenne Moore. Moore 0 for 2 today, and goodness gracious, Judd runs that fastball in on him. That might have hit him. And as easy as it is to take a pitch off the shoulder, it's a little bit more difficult when you see it coming in with that much heat. 1-0 count. Now Judd fires wild, and Diller can't hang on to it. Hinkie Rose scores. Diller just had that one go off of his glove. That's a pass ball, and the Bronx score another run here. What you can't do if you're Timberlake is give Kremlin Hillsdale free runs, and that's exactly what they've done. After an error from Chase Pierce, it's a passed ball as the catcher couldn't quite squeeze it. That's ruled a strike after 2 balls were not close to the plate. That one catches the outside of the zone. Cheyenne Moore, 2 men in scoring position. The Bronx are up 6-3. Excuse me, yeah, 6-3. That's what I've got. That one runs inside. 3-1 is now the count. And Moore walks. Now it's me who's behind in the count. Maddox Myers, the 9-hole hitter, with an opportunity to clear the bases loaded here. 1 down. Judd to Myers. That one's well high and out of the zone. Diller looks. Caden Stewart back to third base. 1-0 count here to Maddox Myers. The Bronx have something going. They could really break this one open. They're up 3 runs now. Could make it more if a ball's put in play here. Caden Stewart making Jacob Diller think about it. Diller runs halfway up the baseline. Wants Caden Stewart to know it's not okay. You get back in between pitches. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Diller fire one down if Severin covers the bag in between pitches here. 2-0 count here to Myers. That one's inside for a strike. 2-1 now the count. 1 gone here. Bases loaded for Maddox Myers, the 9-hole hitter. He was hit by a pitch and struck out earlier today. Swings through that one. 2-2 now the count with 2 men out. Bases loaded. Myers walked twice yesterday. Walked 3 times yesterday, excuse me. And that one catches the outside of the zone. That was close. Umpire.
All right, that's outside. You're done. You're gone.
We've got a fan ejection here. One of the Kremlin Hillsdale supporters said, called the umpire by his name, said that was outside. Did not appreciate that, the umpire. So 2 gone here in this top of the 5th. Now Everett Bonine up to bat with the bases loaded. Bonine watches that one go right past his shin. Bonine, the senior, takes ball 1. Bronx have nearly batted through here. It's now 1-1. This inning started off with Trace Henry being hit by a pitch. Bonine, the leadoff man, takes strike 1, 1-1 now to Bonine. That one's too low. Bonine gonna make Merrick Judd throw him a strike here. It's a good idea as Judd just trying to power that fastball by hitters here. 2-1 pitch. That one's way outside. Great job by Diller to come down with that one. My goodness, that one looked like it was headed for the backstop for sure. 3-1 hitters count here. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Bronx. And Everett Bonine is hit by the pitch there. And he is reeling. That one stings for Everett Bonine, but his sacrifice is the Bronx's gain. As Merrick Judd walks home a run there. Time is called as Everett Bonine shaking off that hit by pitch there. This is Joseph Alquitas. Up to bat now for the Bronx. Takes ball 1 outside. Merrick Judd the fireballer that he is, has not been able to find the strike zone. Maybe if he toned that heat down, be able to fire him into the zone a little bit easier. When you're trying to throw it as hard as you can, sometimes it's easier to get a little bit wild. 2-0 count here. Merrick Judd has walked a batter, hit a batter, and struck one out. Joseph Alquitas looked like he relaxed there for a moment. Wasn't sure that Judd was in his count here. Full count, 2 outs. And that one bounces to the plate. Kremlin Hillsdale had all base runners going, because no matter what happens, the ball's hit in play, or if you walk, you advance a base. If the ball's hit in play, you need to be going because it's a force anywhere. That one, the payoff pitch, bounced up to the mound, up to the batter's box, and Trace Henry is up now. That one goes right past his shoelaces. Somehow it's called a strike. The Bronx have batted through here. Trace Henry began this inning hit by a pitch back when Jacob Diller was on the mound for the Tigers. He hits this one to the shortstop, Jinlink. Jinlink fires to first to end the inning. Pierce gloves it. Caden Stewart grounds out to end the inning. However, the Bronx score 3 in the 5th. Great inning there for Kremlin Hillsdale. They have now taken a 7-3 lead in this championship game of the Cherokee Strip Conference Baseball Tournament. We'll be right back in the bottom of the 5th when we return.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a new one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanOf from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
Stewart Nissan, where our people make the difference.
Wilshire Cabinet & Company sets the new standard in Oklahoma with custom pre-finished fine cabinetry, built in America to last a lifetime. Meet our expert team as we get to know you and your style of living in your home. Make the perfect choices to fit your design and budget with an unrivaled level of service. Complete your project with stunning selections from our hardware, Cambria countertop, and accessory collections. Experience our gallery, where inspiration is always fun, fresh, and lively.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
All right. Back here, bottom of the 5th inning, Kremlin Hillsdale is up 8-3 on the Timberlake Tigers. On the mound is still Trace Henry for the Bronx. He's fired 4 innings strong. This is Cameron Brewer. He swings away at the first pitch, comes up empty. Cleanup hitter for the Tigers. He's 0 for 2 today. He struck out in the first inning. Hit it to the third baseman in the third. That one would have hit him, and Brewer stayed standing up. Instead, he bends out of the way. 1-1's the count. If you're Timberlake, you've got to be taking anything you can get. You cannot bend out of the way of potential hit by pitches. Here's Henry. Fires outside. 2-1. After getting ahead of the pitcher, 0-1. He's fallen behind here. 2-1. Again, 8-3 is our score in the bottom of the 5th. We are nearing the 2-hour time limit placed on these Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament games. That one is too high as well. Brewer letting the umpire know by crouching. It's now 3-1. So if I'm correct, it should be the end of the ball game after this inning due to time constraints. If Kremlin Hillsdale can hold on to their 5-run lead. This is Henry, 3-1. Operating out of the full windup here. Sidesteps, fires, and that one's too low. Cameron Brewer walks to start the inning. Coach Both calls time. We'll see if he wants to get Trace Henry out. You never want to see your pitcher start an inning with a walk, and that's what happened here in the bottom of the 5th. Could be Timberlake's last hurrah to try and win this ball game. Again, 8-3 is your score. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed a lot. In the first inning, Kremlin Hillsdale scored 3 runs. Timberlake scored 1. Second inning went by without a hitch. Third inning went by without a hitch as well. The fourth inning is when Timberlake scored 2 and Kremlin Hillsdale scored 1. So after 4, the score was 4-3, Kremlin Hillsdale. However, in the 5th, the Bronx scored 3 more, pushing their lead to 8. Scored 4 more, excuse me. Scored 4 more in the 5th. Hinky Rose fires down to second, and that was a close call there. That was a beautiful throw from Hinky Rose to the shortstop. It was Zach Snodgrass there with the tag. Nearly recorded the out on Cameron Brewer. Instead, Brewer's in there safe with a stolen base. So Brewer's first time on the base paths. Wasted no time stealing on the first pitch. Brewer, he's a couple steps off, clapping his hands, trying to distract Henry. Severin down on the count 0-2. 0-2 count to Severin here, wearing the number 99 is the third baseman. Cameron Brewer at second. He's got a big lead. Brewer clapping his hands. Trace Henry ignores him, fires high for ball 1. Bonine holding Brewer on to second. Trace Henry on the rubber. Looks towards second. Bonine retreats. Brewer steals. Hinky Rose couldn't quite glove that one. When you don't field it cleanly, you do not have a throw on the stealing base runner. So Brewer steals a pair. Is now on third with nobody out. 2-2's the count after that pitch was ruled a ball. Kate Severin. We'll see the 2-2 pitch. Nobody out here. Chance to score for Timberlake. It's Cameron Brewer on third. Henry kicks. Deals inside. Ball 3. He got ahead 0-2. Now it's a full count. 3-2. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th here. 8-3 is our score. Kremlin Hillsdale is on top. Timberlake might be on their last legs here in the bottom of the 5th. This is Henry. Kicks his leg. Fires past Severin. Strikes him out. Henry swings. Severin swings and misses. Trace Henry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts for Trace Henry. Up now is Chase Pierce. He's walked and struck out today. And that curveball apparently is too high. Pierce had already stepped out of the box. Looked like the umpire was content with calling that one a ball before it had even gotten into the mid of Hinkie Rose. Nonetheless here, 1-0. That one's inside. Pierce. Pierce has got to stay in the box. You cannot continue to step out of the box. The umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt on the first pitch. The second one, Pierce stepped out again. It was ruled a strike, even though it might have been a little bit inside. That one is well outside. For ball 2, Hinkie Rose, good job stopping that one, keeping Brewer at third. 2-1 is the count, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Chase Pierce up to bat here. Again, he is struck out and walked today. That's a strike 2 on the outside of the plate. Pierce, frustrated with that call. Pierce has only swung at 1 pitch tonight, according to my count. Struck out looking, swung at 1 pitch the last time he was up there, as he fouls that one off down the first base line. Right at the Timberlake dugout. No harm, no foul, though. First base coach came up with it for Timberlake. Said bounced off the net near the dugout. That was Jaden Atkinson running for cover over there. 2-2 count here. Just as I start commenting that Pierce hasn't swung the bat, he fouls one off. 2-2 count, 1 down here. Bottom of the 5th, 5-run lead for Kremlin Hillsdale in this title game of the Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament. Henry fires that one outside, full count. Good pitch there from Henry. It's a good spot to miss in. Payoff pitch coming here. 1 out. Could be problematic to have Pierce get on here. That fastball is right down the middle. Swung on and fouled off. Good at bat here for Chase Pierce. That was the 7th pitch of the at bat. We'll have the 8th pitch coming up here in a moment. Good job by Henry to throw a strike there when he needed to. Full count here, 1 down, bottom of the 5th. And that's a great pitch. It was a curveball at the knees of Pierce. It's ruled a strike 3 called. And Pierce strikes out for the 2nd time today looking. What a pitch there from Trace Henry. Pushing Timberlake to the brink here. Cameron Brewer's on third. This is Atkinson at bat now, the right-handed batter facing the right-handed pitcher. Henry fires outside and it's swung on and missed. You can hear Kremlin Hillsdale supporters below showing their approval for Trace Henry. That was his 9th strikeout of the game. A great outing by Trace Henry. 2nd pitch of the at-bat is over the head of Atkinson. For ball 1. 1-1's the count. 2 down here. Bottom of the 5th. Kremlin Hillsdale starting to feel it here. This cold March night. Swung on and missed. Atkinson swung at a bad pitch there. That's 2 swinging strikes, and neither of them were very confident. Trace Henry, I think if he can just get one in the zone here, Atkinson could swing and miss. Fires that one in, and sure enough, Atkinson swings and misses. That's a strikeout to end the 5th. Beautiful pitch there by Trace Henry. We go to the 6th.
Stream like the pros with Squirtle Live. Find out more at squirtle.com/stream.
Wiggins Auctioneers is a full-service auction company well-versed in selling farm and rangeland, minerals, commercial and residential properties, as well as equipment, estate, and trust liquidations. In order to better serve our clients, Wiggins Realty offers conventional for-sale listings as well as buyer representation. Whether buying or selling, auction or conventional, we want to be your trusted company. Wiggins Auctioneers, 3 generations strong and setting the standard since 1963.
Imagine a school with more than 26,000 enrollments per year, cultivating opportunities for students to develop new skills and gain industry-recognized certification. Now imagine a corporate training center that partners with more than 500 local businesses each year, providing a productive and prepared workforce for employers in Oklahoma through customized training. Now imagine a community resource who believes our business thrives when our community thrives. We aren't just the local VOTEC, we are Autry Technology Center.
At Jumbo Foods, our commitment and involvement in the community has always been the driving force behind the way we do business. We are proud to support local initiatives from food pantries, church programs, our hometown.
Back here, top of the 6th. We're still playing baseball here. 10:15 at night on a Saturday, championship Saturday. At the plate now for Kremlin Hillsdale is Zach Snodgrass, the cleanup hitter. He's taking a ball and taking a strike for a 1-1 count. Nobody out here. 5-run lead for Kremlin Hillsdale. So we near the end of this one. The cold might be getting to Merrick Judd here, as he has missed some pitches badly. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks and hit by pitches in the last inning. Might be messing with the control of Merrick Judd and Jacob Diller. Diller accounted for 2 of those. Judd accounted for 4 since he's come in. That one's well outside. Runs the count full. Snodgrass up to bat here. Payoff pitch upcoming. That one's well outside. Another walk. And a leadoff walk will nearly always spell trouble. This is John Hinkie Rose. Rose was hit by a pitch. Really got the last inning started for the Bronx. It's a good pickoff move from Merrick Judd. That was sneaky. Zach Snodgrass had to dive back in, just got there in time. Merrick Judd, that was a dime. That was a tag throw. You throw that ball and the fielder does not even have to move his glove. That's how on the money that throw was. And Judd just cannot find the strike zone here. 1-0, and that is a half dozen wild pitches from Merrick Judd. That's a little bit of hyperbole. He's got 4 by my count. Hinkie Rose squares around a bunt here, pops it up into the netting here, third base line side. Hinkie Rose, the catcher, maybe not the guy you'd expect to square around and bunt, and that certainly looked like what they caught Timberlake thinking. Why would this guy bunt? He's certainly not going to outrun anybody, but you put it in the right spot, even a tortoise could get there in time. Snodgrass leads off second. He's got several steps. Genlink thought about holding him on. Instead, Hinky Rose swings through strike two. One and two. Judd out of the stretch. Takes a look at the runner on second. Snodgrass has nobody holding him off, and that hits John Hinky Rose right in the helmet. And Judd just cannot keep the ball in the strike zone consistently. That is 3. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Okay, that is. I've got that as the second hit batsman for Merrick Judd. He's walked 4 between hitting batters, and that is popped high in the air on the third base side. And that gets down. And what goes on here? It looked like. So it was ruled an infield fly. The batter is out. So the runners that were on second and third have to return. Caden Stewart, who popped that one up. Snodgrass. Okay, so it looks like they're going to rule the batter on second, the batter out via the infield fly rule, and then the runner on second who advanced to third is also ruled out. John Hinky Rose steals third. Hit and run is on here, and Harris Keithley runs through the bag, but it was grounded to the pitcher. Judd threw it over to the first baseman, and that will retire the side. And Coach Voth talking to the umpire because it was not clear that the infield fly rule was called. Usually once that ball goes into the night sky and you've got multiple runners on base, the umpire will shout infield fly, everybody can hear it, and there's no doubt about it. That was not the case there. So the Bronx come up empty. They had 2 men on with 1 out in the inning. Come up with no runs. Excuse me, 2 men on with nobody out in the inning. They come up empty. We head to the bottom of the 6th from Timberlake. The home squad in this championship game. Timberlake playing on their home diamond. Up to bat now in the bottom of the 6th. Trace Henry trotting out for his 6th inning of work. We'll be right back after this.
First responders, frontline workers, teachers and school employees, surrounding schools, and so much more. Jumbo Foods, where customers and community matter most since 1987.
Life is a gift of building memories, accepting changes, and sharing experiences.
I don't think I ever really realized the importance of a funeral home until my mother passed away 2 years ago. Everything was just taken care of. Those are decisions you never want to make, and they were extremely helpful in leading us down that path. If you want your family to be taken care of in one of the hardest times of your life, you want to call Ladislaw Evans.
Ladislaw Evans Funeral Home, the name you know and the people you can trust.
Babe, it's time we go to Stewart Nissan. We need to trade in our old vehicle for a
Back here, bottom of the 6th. Up to bat now for Timberlake is Carter Sands, the center fielder. Bronx lead by 5 runs, 8-3. That was ball 1 too high. It's Trace Henry. Look, he's working on the mound here. He went out of the stretch on that last pitch. Now wants to work out of the full windup. Henry fires. That one's too low. Carter Sands might be looking at a free pass here. The cold is really starting to set in here as we near 10:30 Central Standard Time. 11:30 on the East Coast. It's ball 3 outside on a curveball. Carter Sands will oblige. Take ball 3. No question from him. He'll take a free pass. Henry gives it to him. That one on the outside of the plate, called strike. That's strike 1. Kremlin Hillsdale on top, 8-3. They scored 3 in the first, 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, and that one hits Carter Sands. Well, when you have 3 balls, might as well plunk the guy. Oh no, probably shouldn't say that. You can't plunk somebody. You can't plunk somebody and mean it. It's usually just a control issue for these high school pitchers. This is Trace Henry operating out of the stretch, takes a look at the runner on first. This is lined down the right field line, deep. Caught by the right fielder in deep right field. That one's bounced to first and glove. That was a big fly ball, a large out for Grayson Yeager. That was well hit to right field. I believe that was Andrew Wheeler who hauled that one in. Great work by the right fielder there. Runner still on first. That's Carter Sands. Up now is the top of the order, Merrick Judd. Up now for the Tigers. And that ball catches the outside of the plate. You might see the umpire extend the strike zone here as it gets a little bit later into the night. It gets a little bit colder. Everybody just wants to go home. Merrick Judd calls time, backs out of the batter's box. Kremlin Hillsdale. It's Trace Henry on the mound. He's worked through 5 strong, trying to get through 6. 5 1/3 is what he's at now. And that curveball loops into the zone. 0-2 now the count to Merrick Judd. Judd is 1 for 2 today. He's walked, singled, and struck out. That one's outside. It's a decent pitch for an 0-2 count. Typically don't want to throw a strike on an 0-2 count. Got plenty of balls to work with. No reason to force something into the strike zone. Gives the batter a reason to swing at a strike on a 1-2 count. Maybe lure him out on a ball when he has to defend with 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch here coming. Runner takes off. Hinkie Rose fires another one down to second base. That one's over the head of Zach Snodgrass, but Everett Bonine is able to knock it down. He recovers. 2-2 now the count. It's a pair of balls consecutively here as Carter Sands is on second now for the Tigers. 8-3 is still your score. Kremlin Hillsdale on top in the bottom of the sixth here. Time is running out for the Tigers. 2-2 the count, one down, one man on for Timberlake. Tigers have 1-2-3 upcoming here. They'll see if they can knock the runner in from second base. Sands takes another half step. He's creeping. And that one's hit well to center field. That one's back and over the head of Cheyenne Moore. That's going to be trouble. Carter Sands rounding third. They've got a chance to get him. Bonine catches it, holds it. It would not have been there in time. That'll keep Judd at second base. And that was a deep double. That one nearly rolled to the wall. It's about 330 feet to that center field wall. And that one was hit all of about 300. Cheyenne Moore could not get under it. It was hit well over his head. Jacob Diller at the plate now. That's an RBI double for Merrick Judd. Eight to 4 is now the Bronc lead. Merrick Judd on second base. Bonine holding him on. Henry might do well to try and use a pickoff move here as Judd is well off the base. He's going to go. Hinky Rose fires down to third. And Caden Stewart not gloved that one. That might have hit Judd right in the face. There's another good throw there by Hinky Rose. But that one was on Trace Henry. You got to step off when a guy is that far off the base. Merrick Judd, I've got down for 4 stolen bases now today. He is a menace on the base paths. Should have been 5, but the batsman hit one in play while he was trying to steal. 1-1 count now to Jacob Diller. Diller made it through 4 1/3 before being yanked. He's now catching for the Tigers. This is Trace Henry, 1-1 count, 1 out. Diller swings through that one. Big swing and a miss there from Jacob Diller. He wants so badly to drive in this run from third base. Got to keep an eye on Judd over there. Got to think he's going. If there's even a bobble from Hinky Rose. Trace Henry, 1-2. Fires too high outside. 2-2 now the count. Still got 2 pitches to work with. If you're Trace Henry, 2 balls to work with. No reason to be in a hurry, although his pitch count has got to be well above 75-80. Henry from the stretch, comes set, and that one's behind Jacob Diller. Hinky Rose fires down the third base line. Stewart can't glove it, and Merrick Judd, a poor headfirst slide there. He does a somersault and scores for the Tigers. Hinky Rose fired over to third. Caden Stewart couldn't quite glove it. His throw was errant. Merrick Judd scores. It's now 8-5. It's the home team showing some signs of life here. Full count, bottom of the 6th. So Carter Sands was hit by a pitch earlier in this inning. Merrick Judd doubled to send him home. Then he steals third. Comes home after a pickoff attempt goes wrong for the Broncs. Diller fouls that one off, staying alive here. We'll have another payoff pitch. It will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. One thing Kremlin Hillsdale has done, probably better than the Tigers tonight, is work deep into counts. Kremlin Hillsdale taking advantage of some wild pitching. And that one in the strike zone, lofted into left field. And it gets down. Does it get down? No, it got down. There was some horn honking over here. I think that they thought that the left fielder gloved it. He did not. That is a tough break if you're Kremlin Hillsdale. That was an error on the left fielder Maddox Myers. He was right under it, just could not haul it in. And that would have been 2 outs. Instead it's 1 and a runner on first. Ethan Genlink now takes ball 1 inside. It's the 3-hole hitter. Jacob Diller is a threat to steal. He's stolen 1 bag tonight. Ethan Genlink, one of the only Tigers yet to reach base tonight. He is the only Tiger yet to reach base tonight. He struck out in the first inning, grounded out to third. Hinky Rose fires down to second base. Grabbed by the center fielder. Kremlin Hillsdale has been slow to rotate over to Hinky Rose's throws all night. That one got past the initial man, past Snodgrass, past Bonine, and then center fielder Cheyenne Moore had to come up with it. And on this dead grass, ground balls can sometimes be easy to lose, especially if you've got a couple people in front of you. Good job by Cheyenne Moore to get down on her knee, make sure that doesn't roll past. 8-5 is still your score. Now a runner in scoring position for the Tigers, looking to score their 3rd run of the inning. This is Trace Henry pitching to Genlink. That one's outside. 2-1 now the count. So another stolen base for the Tigers. This is Trace Henry, 2-1. Throws that one inside. Genlink backs out of the way. 3-1 now the count. Ethan Genlink could find base for the first time today. Might not be the worst thing for Kremlin Hillsdale. You put a guy on first, you've got a force at second and third. That one's outside. Genlink walks. Looks like Coach Voth might make a pitching change here. Trace Henry, seeing his pitch count climb, hands the ball off to Coach Voth. It's a good job. Coach Voth puts his hands together. He wants Kremlin Hillsdale supporters to appreciate the effort put in by Trace Henry. It was a very strong effort. We'll see who takes what position here. Trace will go to third base. His first throw from third base is well over the head of Harris Keithley. Might have been a frustration throw there. Trace Henry. And that one is nearly past Harris Keithley once again. You should be happy with yourself if you're Trace Henry. Defense wasn't always behind you, especially in the outfield. You're able to make it through 5 1/3 in a championship game. It's well done. Harris Keithley having a very tough time tracking down the balls from Trace Henry. This is Caden Stewart who's going to come in to pitch. The big righty. His first warm-up pitch is a strike, no question about that one. Should probably practice from the windup though, as he's got 2 runners on, first and second. Folks, it is getting cold out here. 10:40 is the time. We've been playing baseball for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We started right at 8 o'clock. Stewart still warming up to Hinky Rose. So again, a little scoring summary. In the first inning for Kremlin Hillsdale, Bonine singled And Trace Henry doubled, bringing Bonine home. Zach Snodgrass then singled, bringing Trace Henry to third. Snodgrass was on second due to a throwing error. And then Caden Stewart doubled, bringing 2 more home for the Bronx. That was 3 runs in that first inning. Then the side struck out in the second inning. Nothing doing in the third. In the fourth inning, they got 1 run. After Maddox Myers was hit by a pitch, there was an error that advanced Myers to third base. A wild pitch scored Myers. That's 4 runs for the Bronx there. Then they got 4 more in the fifth. For the Timberlake side, they got 1 run in the first and 2 in the fourth. Now they've gotten 2 more here in the sixth. Cameron Brewer watches strike 1 go past. Kremlin Hillsdale desperately needs a shot in the arm to get out of this inning. Timberlake still threatening. John Hinkie Rose did a good job to block that one. That was well off the plate. Hinkie Rose did a good job shifting over and blocking it, making sure it didn't get to the backstop so the runners could advance. The runner on second is Jacob Diller. Ethan Genlink is on first, and that one is a little wild. Caden Stewart throws a wild one. Runners advance on the wild pitch. It's a tough one for Kremlin Hillsdale. You've got 1 out in the inning, and that is a big swinging strike. Big swing and a miss there from Cameron Brewer. That was a bad swing. That was well over his head. Just a high fastball that looks too good to be true. When it comes up at your eye level, it seems a little bit bigger, easier to swing at, and that one's fouled off down the right field line and deep. Wheeler chases that one down. He'll lob it in to Harris Keithley. Keithley will throw to Caden Stewart. Will reset, do it again. 2-2 is the count. Sixth pitch of the at-bat upcoming, 2-2 count. So 1 out. Timberlake trying to score some more, and that one nearly caught the outside of the plate. Just missed. Full count here. 1 gone in the bottom of the sixth. Bronx in danger of loading the bases here. The big number 99, Cade Severin, up to bat. And that one is hit sharply to short. Snodgrass bobbles it. And that one, he throws it past Harris Keithley. Keithley couldn't quite glove it. 2 runs come in to score. Keithley grabs it, throws it to Stewart, and 2 runs score on an error from Zach Snodgrass. Snodgrass just didn't get his glove on the ground. Kremlin Hillsdale has all of a sudden seen their 5-run lead cut to just 1. And Timberlake has another runner in scoring position. Severin swings and misses. That is 4 runs in the inning for Timberlake. They trailed 8-3 entering this inning. They've scored 4 to cut the lead to 8-7. Kremlin Hillsdale trying to hang on here. Hinkie Rose made a good throw there, and the runner is out. That was Cameron Brewer trying to steal third. He was thrown out. Timberlake's coach did not agree with the call. But Brewer was clapping at the pitcher, maybe trying to distract him a little bit. Maybe got a little bit later of a jump than you would normally get. And it was Great throw from Hinky Rose once again. Hinky Rose has been throwing just darts from behind the plate. Anytime a runner has stolen, he's been there to at least give his fielders a chance. And Severin strikes out swinging. That ends the inning. He strikes out swinging. And now we will go to the top of the 7th. Final inning here. Kremlin Hillsdale clinging to a 1-run lead in this championship game of the Cherokee Strip Conference Baseball Tournament. We'll be right back.
New one.
I'm already on it, honey.
Shop StewartNissanAvena.com from the comfort of your home and get great deals like $1,000 cash back on the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra and $4,000 off the 2020 Murano.
And we even deliver right to your door.
Stewart Nissan, where our people make the difference.
Wilshire Cabinet and Company sets the new standard in Oklahoma with custom pre-finished fine cabinetry, built in America to last a lifetime. Meet our expert team as we get to know you and your style of living in your home. Make the perfect choices to fit your design and budget with an unrivaled level of service. Complete your project with stunning selections from our hardware, Cambria countertop, and accessory collections. Experience our gallery, where inspiration is always fun, fresh, and lively.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
Is your school or booster club looking for ways to fundraise? Let Downtown Threads create a custom website to showcase all your school apparel. You pick the design and the garment, we do the rest. We will handle all the payments and cut you one check when the website is closed. Call today, 580-237-7060. Downtown Threads, proudly supporting all local high school athletes.
Back here, top of the 7th. Up for Kremlin Hillsdale is Cheyenne Moore, the center fielder. He grabbed a big putout in that last inning. Watch his strike one go by him. Cheyenne Moore is 0 for 2 today. He struck out looking, hit one to the shortstop, and walked. You might say, Hayden, that is 1 for 3, but walks do not count whenever you're saying blank for blank. So you could be 0 for 0 if you had one at bat where you walked. Just the way it goes. Don't ask me. Just know that's how it is said. 2-1 now the count, and Judd wild again. Just as Judd looked like he was stringing together some strikes, just as he did in the last inning. Cheyenne Moore walks. Leadoff walk here in the top of the 7th, and that is just what the doctor ordered for Kremlin Hillsdale. This is Maddox Myers. Myers was unfortunately the culprit of a big error that brought home 2 runs for Timberlake in the last inning. That was not his finest work in left field. What a pickoff move, my goodness. Merrick Judd nearly threw out Cheyenne Moore over there. Moore has to be careful not to get picked off. That was a beautiful move by Merrick Judd. And that was on Moore. Moore was shuffling his feet, and Judd, frustrated with himself that he didn't throw over once more. 1-0 is now the count. Moore was shuffling his feet, and Merrick Judd still had half of an eye on him and just dirtballed that one. Usually great pitchers have several pickoff moves. That was one of the slower ones from Eric Judd. 1-0 count. Cheyenne Moore being extra cautious over there as that one nearly went above the head of the catcher, the umpire, and the batter. A leaping catch made by Jacob Diller. Good job by him. 2-0 the count. That one is outside. That was a good-looking pitch, but no dice from the umpire. Maddox Myers will take a free pass, no question about that, if it's given to him. 3-0 count. Nobody down here, top of the 7th. And that's a strike. And a little miscommunication there as Cheyenne Moore thought that it was a walk. Coach Voth is livid. Third base coach Voth screaming at Cheyenne Moore. You've got to have your head up. You've got to be in the game. He thought that that was ball 4. Took off at a half trot and then sprinted. Jinlink just missed the catch. That was a good job there by Diller. Yeah, Coach Voth just screaming at Cheyenne Moore. You've got to wake up, and he does. That was poor base running by Cheyenne Moore. That ball went to the backstop. That should have been an easy situation where you can get runners on the corners. This is Everett Bonine now, the leadoff hitter for Kremlin Hillsdale. That was a 4-pitch walk to Maddox Myers. Excuse me, it was a 5-pitch walk to Maddox Myers. Bonine lays down a beautiful bunt down the right baseline, the third baseline. And that one's tossed from Judd to the third baseman. He's out. That is a tough series for Cheyenne Moore. Coach Voth is ready to just wring his neck. He is frustrated with Cheyenne Moore right now, and rightfully so. He nearly got caught stealing. Then when he did have the opportunity to steal, he didn't have his head on straight. He got halfway down the baseline and turned back. And there, on the bunt, he was not ready to go. He got a bad jump and got caught. Bonine laid down a beautiful bunt. Judd got there, tossed it to the third baseman, and he was beaten by a whole step. How does that happen? You know that the bunt is coming. The defense doesn't. You got to get there. Coach Voth still frustrated, shaking his head. 1-1 is the count now to Joseph Alquitas. He's walked twice today. He's 0 for 2, 2 walks. That one's inside, and that hits Joseph Alquitas. Looked like it got him on the foot. He gives a little fist bump. That is exactly what he wanted. He tried to jump out of the way, and then he realized, no, this is a great thing. Now I'm on base. Now Kremlin Hillsdale threatening with the bases loaded. Only one gone. Trace Henry, who fired 121 pitches. 121 pitches. This is Matthew Wheeler coming in now for Joseph Alquitas. I've said Wheeler's name a few times, but this time you can be sure that is Wheeler, and we've got a mound visit upcoming for the Tigers. Trace Henry will trot down the third base line. Go talk with Coach Voth. Big at-bat coming up here for Trace Henry. He fought so hard on the mound, firing 121 pitches. And now he has a chance with the bases loaded to put Kremlin Hillsdale in a position where it would be very difficult for the Tigers to come back. The Broncs have watched a 5-run lead dwindle down to 1 in the top of the 7th. The bottom of the 6th, where the Tigers scored 4 runs. There were some errors, there were some walks, there was a pitching change. It was not a very good inning for the Broncs. And 4 runs came across for the Tigers. A 5-run game. Kremlin Hillsdale was firmly in the driver's seat. It's now a one-run game. Trace Henry with a chance to change all that now. Watches a ball outside. Timberlake fans are beside themselves. 3-hole hitter, Trace Henry, up to the plate now, 1-0. And that one catches the outside of the zone. That certainly looked like exactly the same pitch we just saw. I guess the umpire just liked that one a little bit better. This is Merrick Judd operating from the full windup. Henry swings away. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. 1-2 now the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is Merrick Judd, and he's ready to go. From the windup, kicks, deals. And that one's hit to center field. Well, line drive. They're going to send over Bowline. Bowline turns the corner and scores. Kremlin Hillsdale scores on a RBI single from Trace Henry. They score 2. Beautiful piece of hitting by Trace Henry. Right into the gap. Hit it where they ain't, as Yogi Berra used to say. And that was certainly in a hole. Bonine comes across to score. Maddox Myers comes across to score. The Bronx back up by 3 runs. 10-7 is now your score. That one is a strike. 0-2 now to Snodgrass. Zach Snodgrass comes up. Takes 2 quick strikes. 1 gone here. The cleanup hitter up now for Kremlin Hillsdale. They don't give that spot to anybody. You'd like to see a good piece of hitting here from Zach Snodgrass. Runners on first and second. Wheeler is the man on second. Trace Henry is the man on first. This is Snodgrass, the shortstop for the Bronx. Takes a ball too high. 2-2 now the count. Snodgrass is 1 for 2 today with a pair of walks and a single back in the first inning. He had an RBI single, walked twice, and struck out in the 5th inning. Now in the 7th, he's trying to rally, and he's come back from an 0-2 count to get it to full. And he walks. Another walk for Merrick Judd. He just cannot find the strike zone on that at-bat. Judd frustrated with himself. Kicks some dirt. Now puts his hat on straight. John Hinkey Rose calling time. Now he's ready. Judd ready to go. My goodness, it looked like Judd might have gotten started before the umpire's hand was down, saying time in. That was immediate. As soon as the umpire's hand went down, Judd was ready to go. Strike 1 past Hinkey Rose. That one bounces through. And it looks like the umpire might have taken one right where you don't want to be hit. That is a tough break, and he's going to stretch it out. He's going to stretch it out, make sure that he's all right there. Maybe the shin. Nope. We'll see. Looks like he's just going to walk it off here, make sure that umpire's all right. He's walking around. He's up. Non-life-threatening injury here. He's going to be okay. Just needs a couple minutes. He's going to shake it off, and everyone applauds the umpire here. Unlike the players, the umpires have to stay in the field for every single pitch of this ball game. Sometimes the home team on their half, they can go sit in the dugout. Not so for the umpires. They are constantly out in the field. 2-1 now the count to John Hinkey Rose. He took the first one looking. It's been a pair of balls since. Hinkey Rose takes another one. Right around his neck level. 3-1 hitters count here. 1 gone for Kremlin Hillsdale. Snodgrass on first. Henry on second. Wheeler on third. Bases are loaded here. Hinkie Rose walks. Merrick Judd throws that one well outside the strike zone. That'll walk home a run. The merry-go-round starts for Kremlin Hillsdale. Nothing like walking the bases loaded. They don't come much easier than that. Judd is frustrated with himself. He bounced that one in. That's a dirt ball. 1-0's the count. 11-7 is the score. Kremlin Hillsdale has rallied after seeing their 5-run lead. And that's a big hit down to left field. That has a chance. It's gone! It is gone! Caden Stewart over the left field wall. And you could hear that one off the bat. My goodness. And these Broncs are fired up here. That has to be 320, 330, 340 feet in left field. My word. The Broncs have opened up the lead here, and they are going nuts. Wow. A grand slam for Cadence Stewart. Now Harris Keithley up to bat. He sees 2 balls go by him. Neither of them are close. Merrick Judd has got to settle down here just so he can get out of this inning. My goodness. And that one's not close either. He just is going as quick as he can. My word, what a bomb from Cadence Stewart. 7 runs in the inning now. Harris Keithley walks on 4 pitches. And the Broncs are now back where they started. Cheyenne Moore was the one who got all this started. He took a 5-pitch walk and then stole second earlier in this inning. And now Harris Keithley watches one go by him. Harris Keithley makes it to second after Judd's pickoff move goes wild. Wanted to keep Harris Keithley honest. That one just went past him. So still nothing here to Cheyenne Moore. Now that one's high. And Merrick Judd has gone 5 pitches here without throwing a strike. Cheyenne Moore will gladly take a free pass, and that one's right at his head. And Timberlake might have to consider getting Judd out of here. This is getting ugly. That's 6 straight balls, and they have not been close. That one's a... yes, it is a strike. Two and 1 now the count. Judd finally finds a strike zone. He does it again. Judd appears to have possibly settled in here. Maybe working from the stretch helped him a little bit. This is Harris Keithley on second base. Cheyenne Moore up to bat now. That one's low. Count runs full. As I mentioned, Cheyenne Moore's the one who got all this started. Had some problems on the base paths. Coach Voth gave him a real good talking to, and he's back up now with a chance to redeem himself. RBI single would definitely put him back in Coach Voth's good graces. He fouls that one off. We've got the 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming here, and that one's a ball. Merrick Judd has walked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batters in 1 inning, plus a hit batsman. That is not a recipe for success when the game is on the line. Timberlake had cut the lead to just 1 And then Judd comes out here and starts throwing it all over the yard. It has just been a wild, wild inning for Merrick Judd. He has had a hard time finding the strike zone. And then the one time he did, Caden Stewart sent him over the fence. Nothing like a grand slam. Not the one from Denny's, the one here at Helena, courtesy of Caden Stewart. 2-1 count here to Maddox Myers. Judd misses again. There's one gone here in this 7th inning. That one's high. Maddox Myers takes ball 3. Merrick Judd. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. This is tough to watch. It's tough to watch somebody just really have a hard time finding the strike zone. Then you can see he's visibly frustrated. It's late in the night. It's cold. You're now down 8 runs. I mean, maybe put somebody on the bench out here. Give them a chance to pitch. But he strikes out Maddox Myers, swinging. Myers chased one maybe outside of the zone. Everett Bonine now comes up after the 2nd out of the inning. It's given from Maddox Myers. 5 bases on balls and 1 hit by pitch. Bonine fouls that one off outside of the first base line. That hits the roof there of the gymnasium into the gutter. Just a loud thunk. Would have been about where the right fielder's standing had it been fair or straightened up. Bonine fouls this one back too. He's gotten a couple good pitches to hit. Hasn't quite squared him up. We'll see if he can straighten it out here. Bonine, 0-2. 2 men on, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Bronx now up 15-7. That one curves in. Bonine, had he stayed in there, kept his head up, might have gotten hit by a pitch again. He was hit by a pitch earlier in this one, in the 5th inning. Bunted into a fielder's choice. It was a beautiful bunt down the 3rd base line. It's just a base running error by Cheyenne Moore. Left Bonine with nothing to show for it. He later scored on a single from Trace Henry. Now he's fought back to 2-2. That one bounces past off the backstop. Diller comes up with it, and it's full count. Bonine was down 0-2 after a pair of foul balls. Fights back to get it full. Payoff pitch upcoming. 2 outs. Top of the 7th. 15-7 here. Merrick Judd has that one fouled away. Good job by Bonine staying alive. Judd with it. 2 men in scoring position. Bonine puts a ball in play. You find a gap, could score 2. And that's a ball outside. That loads the bases. Bonine hustles down to first. That is the 6th walk of the inning. 6th walk of the inning for Merrick Judd. And we are past 11 o'clock here in Helena. It is cold out on the field, I reckon, without the protection of covering, without just a little bit of wind. Strike 1 there to Wheeler. Wheeler in for Joseph Alquitas. He pops that one up behind home plate. It's out of play. Now 0-2. It has got to be well below 40 degrees there on the field. It is cold here in Helena. 0-2 count here to Wheeler. That one's well outside. We just saw Judd working with an 0-2 count. He came back through 4 balls in a row. Granted, Bonine did foul one off. And walked Bonine. Now 2 balls in a row. Danger of doing the same thing here to Wheeler. Bases loaded here. Top of the 7th, 15-7. Merrick Judd in danger of walking in a run. 2-2 count here, 2 outs. That one's well outside. Runners stay put. 3-2 count. 2 outs. Top of the 7th, and Timberlake just cannot get out of this inning. Merrick Judd walks another batter. That is an unprecedented 7 walks in 1 inning. 1 inning. 8 if you count a hit batsman. That is 8 free passes issued. 3 of those came after he started 0-2. I mean, it has just been tough sledding trying to get out of here for Merrick Judd. That one's a ball. Trace Henry takes strike 1. Trace Henry has the bases loaded. Swings and misses. Might have gotten a piece of that one. Nonetheless, it's 1-2. 2 outs here. In the top of the 7th, 16-7 your score. Kremlin Hillsdale on top. That one is fouled off. It hit home plate. Henry lines one down the third base line. Severin comes up with it. He beats the runner to the bag, and that'll end the inning. And that inning took about 45 minutes real time. That was brutal to watch. Merrick Judd just could not find the strike zone for a long time, and finally Trace Henry grounds out unassisted. Position number 5, the third baseman gloves it, beats the runner to the bag. Timberlake is out of the inning. They're going to have to score 9. Is it 9? Yeah, they're going to have to score 10 runs to win this one in the bottom of the 7th inning. My goodness, 8 runs came across for Kremlin Hillsdale there. It is now 16-7. Timberlake is going to need a miracle here. Let's not rule it out. Kremlin Hillsdale, unlike Timberlake, would not hesitate to change pitchers should a few runs cross the board. You wouldn't like to do that, but worst comes to worst, it is an option. This is Caden Stewart warming up here. Now Hinky Rose fires to second. Looks like everybody's eager to start this bottom half of the inning. The last hurrah here for Timberlake. Chase Pierce comes up to the plate. Pierce has struck out twice looking and walked. This is Chase Pierce looking for the pitch from Stewart. That's a strike. Great way to start the inning with a strike to Chase Pierce. Again, Pierce 0 for 2 today. Player after him 0 for 1. Player after him 0 for 1. So you could potentially see 3 up, 3 down. So that one hits the backstop. After watching a 45-minute inning, that would be a relief. You can all go home, get back where it's warm. Chase Pierce, he stayed upright. All right. A little bit of a discussion here between the umpire and both coaches. One coach thought that it hit the player's bat. The other coach thought that it hit the batter's helmet. The umpire says no, it hit the player's glove. So 3-1 now the count to Pierce. Chase Pierce trying to get something started for Timberlake. 3-1. Stewart kicks, deals, outside, ball 4. Pierce takes his base. Second time he's done that today. Since Caden Stewart has come into the game, he has issued 2 free passes. He's seen a pair of errors made behind him, and he's given up a double. Chase Pierce is running on the pitch. That one is fouled back behind home plate, out of play. So Pierce will have to reset. That's strike 1 to Jaden Atkinson. 0-1 the count. Caden Stewart working out of the stretch. Now he steps off. A little miscommunication there with the catcher. Also wanted to readjust the dirt here on the mound, maybe give himself a little bit more support. Steps on the rubber. Takes a look at the runner on first. Comes set. Kicks high. A little bit of a slide step there. Slide step is when you don't quite kick as high and you go toward the plate. It's more like a throw rather than a true pitch. It's a great way to try and catch a base runner stealing. That one was fouled off down the right baseline. It was well hit, just foul. 0-2 now the count. Atkinson, that one's well outside. Runner's going to take second. That one was well outside of John Hinkie Rose's range. He tried to get there, just a second too late. Hinkie Rose going to go try and calm down Caden Stewart. 1-2 now the count. Even though that pitch was well outside of the zone, he's in no danger of losing Jaden Atkinson here. Carter Sands is on deck. Atkinson is 0 for 1 today. He's reached on a pair of errors and struck out in the 5th. Atkinson now looking for the 1-2. That's strike 3 called. And I don't know how you don't swing at that one. That one is right down Broadway. That is strike 3 called. And that's the first out of the inning here. Kremlin Hillsdale on the verge of the Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament Championship. They battled. They were up 8-3. Then they watched their lead get cut 8-7. Then they scored 8 runs in the top half of this 7th inning, thanks to a grand slam from the pitcher, Caden Stewart. Nothing like a pitcher giving himself a little bit of run support. And my goodness, that's called a ball. No, he does point. He points. That's strike 2. Caden Stewart, 0-2 count here, 1 down to Carter Sands. And that's strike 3. Carter Sands strikes out looking. That's a pair of Tigers who have struck out looking. It's your last chance. You can't go up there and be afraid to swing the bat. If it's close, swing the bat. It's your team's last chance. You cannot strike out looking. That is brutal. That is brutal to watch. If you're a manager, if you're a spectator, if you're a know-nothing commentator like me, you got to go up there and swing the bat, especially when it's your last chance. There is not anything else after this. This is it. This is the bottom of the 7th. This is a 7th inning game. You got to go. Swinging strike there from Grayson Yeager. Yeager had a loud out down the right field line. That's ball 2. 2-1 now the count. He had a very loud out down the right field line, halfway to the wall. Yeager still swinging for the fences here. 2-2. Timberlake down to their final strike. 16-7 is the score. Kremlin Hillsdale on top. Caden Stewart. 2-2. 2 outs. Kicks, deals. That's a dirt ball. Inky Rose sprints after it. Runner will advance. That's Pierce. It's going to be no skin off Kremlin Hillsdale's nose should that runner score. Even if he does come across, you're still working with an 8-run cushion. Right now the lead is 9. Timberlake needs 10 runs, and they're down to their final strike. It's a full count here, 2 outs. And the pitch, it's a swing and a miss! Kremlin Hillsdale is your 2021 Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament baseball champions. What a victory. They defeated the #1 seeded Ringwood Red Devils. And now, in 7 innings, they defeat the Timberlake Tigers. 16-7 is your final. Beautiful job done by Trace Henry and Caden Stewart, as both teams will shake hands, clap hands, slap hands, whatever you prefer to call it. Whatever it is, I know the spectators are happy to see it because we are nearing the midnight hour. My goodness, what a game. Kremlin Hillsdale scored 3 in the first. Timberlake answered with 1. They then scored, Kremlin scored 2 more in the 4th. Timberlake answered with 2 of their own. It was 5-3. We got the trophy presentation here as Principal Pierce congratulates Timberlake with their runner-up trophy, and the championship trophy is received by Trace Henry and the Kremlin Hillsdale Bronx. Congratulations to Kremlin Hillsdale, and a great game played by Timberlake as well. They just had a hard time throwing strikes in that final inning. 7 runs in the 7th inning. Give Kremlin Hillsdale the victory, 16-7. Kremlin Hillsdale is your tournament champions for 2021. Hayden Bonine signing off. Thank you for listening.